Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dax Shepard. I'm joined by Monica Padman.
That's us.
How you doing?
Pretty good. My ear reads.
You're in it a lot. I've been watching you dig in it with your pinky.
I know. I feel like there's bugs that went in there.
God, this reminds me of my favorite thing I think I've told you in the past. And weirdly, this is the perfect time to say this.
Okay.
Because Bobby Lee lets it all hang out.
Yeah, he does.
So Bree was in Guatemala. You know about this. And she had a crazy ear infection. Yeah. And then she ultimately finally went to the doctor. And the doctor pulled out the most beautiful object I've ever seen in my life. It was like, if you can imagine when they cut off a pretty huge hunk of hard cheese, like out of a cheese wheel, it was like, it was big and it was cobalt blue.
Yeah.
It was
it opaque?
Possibly blue. No, it was gorgeous. If you look at our faces on that quilt, it was that color. It did not look like a color a human being could create.
Do you think it was something got in there? Like maybe that was a rock that got in her ear.
Or a pen.
Right.
It looked so unhuman, but it was undeniably beautiful. It looked like a crazy jewel had been.
Did she keep it?
Yeah, so she came home with this plastic cylinder, and we would just lay in bed and stare at the thing and hold it up to the light. In fact, I have half a mind to ask her if she still has it.
Should.
What treasure?
That is a treasure.
Oh my God.
A life's treasure.
Okay, listen. I had so much fun in this fucking interview. I mean, this really was so much fun.
It was.
I love Bobby Lee. He is so funny and honest.
Really funny.
And wonderful. And cheers to Wobby Wob, who has been for a long time saying, like, you got to get Bobby in. He's so great. And we finally did, and I'm so glad. Bobby Lee was on Mad TV for years. He was in Borderlands, The Dictator, Pineapple Express, and he has two very, very popular and successful podcasts, both TigerBelly and Bad Friends. And alas, he is here today to talk about his new movie, Sweet Dreams. So, guys, just really hop in a lawn chair and pour some sun tea because this is a real party. Please enjoy Bobby Lee.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do some tobacco for my gums because my gums get sick.
Okay.
Yeah, and they get really achy, so I need tobacco for them.
I had the same ailment on my gums up until January 1st.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm 100 days off.
But can I just say something? Your gums seem like it's missing the stuff.
They look unhealthy,
you, the
don't
tobacco.
they? You were offered all the things.
I mean, this guy I've known for so long. I don't trust him. Can I do this like this?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was supposed to say that.
What
My
are you
bad.
supposed to say? Oh, crisscross
applesauce. Is it bad Indian style? What does that mean? We're just sitting.
Well, that's what's interesting. It begs the question, are they referring to Native Americans or people from India? It makes the most sense people from India.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why that's offensive. If they invented that style of sitting.
I don't think they invented it.
Exactly. I don't think they invented it. So it's, I guess, probably relating to how they sit for prayer.
But you know how people do this? This is not China style, is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
No,
Really?
for sure.
Oh, maybe.
Well, look, this is known in social sciences. The reason Asians are so good at math is because of rice production, because there's so much math in rice production.
Are you being real right now?
I'm being dead real. Just like Westerners' brains evolved because they learned to read from Martin Luther spreading literacy, their brain physically changed. So there is lots of science behind the math in the rice production because there's so much math in it.
You know, can I just say something, Dax?
Yes.
Before you podcasted, I thought, he's a good actor. He's a funny guy. And then you started this, and it was just like, oh, my God, he's smart, too. And it drives me crazy. Why do you do all of it? Anyway, I've always wanted to do this. I'm so glad I'm here. And Monica, it was really good to meet you, and thank you for having me.
You got it down?
What?
My name.
Monica.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He practiced before you came up.
Well, I go, who's that? And then I forgot it was Monica. And then I go, Monica in my mind. You know what I mean? So it's good to see you, Monica.
It's good to see you, too.
Well, also, it is a painting of her. It's not the most photorealistic painting. Now, if you were to confuse that painting, that's a bummer because that's baby Monica.
I already know that's because I asked Rob, who's that? Is that Dax's child?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's Monica as a
In
baby.
some ways, yes.
Is that not the cutest baby you've ever seen?
Genetically great.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the insides are good too.
Yeah.
The insides are doing okay.
But what a beautiful baby. I was a cute baby.
You have a little brother?
Steve, yeah.
How much younger?
He's 3 years younger, and I'm proud of him. He has 15 years sober, which is great. None of us have kids or anything.
No, I more meant family disease. No, I
Oh,
did.
really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone in my family
Yeah.
is either sober or it went the other way.
Now, let me ask you about this. A lot of people think that alcoholism is hereditary, and then some people think it's trauma and things of that nature that turn somebody alcoholic. What is your take on it?
I have heard said, I think Brene Brown said this, that genetics is the gun and trauma is the bullet. So I believe there's a genetic predisposition to it, but I also think that if you have trauma and you can no longer self-regulate and you already have this gene, of course that's going to happen.
It's a combo.
Genetics loads the gun and trauma pulls the trigger.
Oh, that's it.
Wow.
Much better.
So what you're saying to me is I was born Bobby Lee, but I lived with the Asian version of the Huxtables, aside from Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
That's a
that's trauma right there.
That's trauma. That's right. Let me do another family.
The Cleavers.
The Cleavers take it.
A lot of repression there.
Oh,
Yeah.
homophobia.
Yeah, the bunkers.
Who are they?
Archie
Oh,
Bunker.
Archie.
Oh, boy.
Well, he's abusive verbally.
Yeah, he's also racist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be great.
That wouldn't be good
But
for
in
me.
a very charming way.
Yeah. What's another TV family that I could do? I know one. Jean-Luc Picard's son.
Wait.
What?
Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek Next Generation.
Okay.
Right? If he had a son, he's a good guy. I was the captain's son. I lived on the Enterprise.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm
yeah.
also mixed with, like, I see Worf, like a Klingon and Romulan. You know, I'm cultured almost.
Right.
Well, hold on.
You don't feel other.
Your culture, but you are also embroiled in war and adrenaline. Can we go with the Seavers? Do you remember them?
Well, it's my life, but okay.
Do you remember the Seavers?
No, who's the Seavers?
He has since become a very big Christian.
Yeah.
No. I don't want, no.
No, but that's the
I don't want
actor.
to
No. Oh, and my first agent was his mother.
Yeah, Seavers was Full House Candace Cameron's brother, right?
Kirk Cameron. Remember Kirk Cameron's
Oh,
show?
yeah, what's that show called?
Yes, with
Growing
the
Pains.
Growing
Yes.
Pains.
The Growing Pains.
They were the Seavers.
They were the Seavers.
I think that's the one we land on
All
because
right,
they
but-
were liberal.
But Kirk Cameron,
yeah.
as a brother, is Kirk Cameron my brother?
No, he's not your brother. Well, not Kirk
Oh.
Cameron. The character is your brother.
But deep down inside, there's some hardcore Christianity.
No,
going on.
that's not present in
Oh, yes. Oh, she's
Mike
acting.
Seavers.
He
or-
doesn't come to Christianity until much later in
Well, then
life.
why can't I just go back to the Huxtables? Because then he's playing Dr. Huxtable. He's not Bill
Okay,
Cosby.
Wow.
well, fine.
we-
Let's
we
go with the
circle
Huxtables. All roads lead back to the Huxtables.
Okay.
Let's go back.
So if I was a part of the Huxtables, but I had the gene, I wouldn't have been an alcoholic. Is that what you're saying? Because I had such a great upbringing?
Well, look, I'm about to find out, right? Because I have two little kids who have my genes. There isn't a break in the cycle that I can see. I'm about to do that show, Finding Your Roots. Maybe we'll find a shepherd that wasn't an alcoholic. To my knowledge, there wasn't one. So we're about to find out, really. Because thus far, at least, my kids haven't experienced the stuff I did.
Wow. Do you lay in bed worrying about it?
I don't. You know, my dad was enormously cool about this because my dad was sober. He got sober when I was 14.
In 12 steps.
Yeah, in AA.
Wow.
And he watched me go through the whole ride and clearly knew what was going on. And he was so chill about it. He's like, look, you know where to come. You've been to meetings with me. When you're ready, I know you won't go till you're ready. So I'm just hanging. You know, my mother was terrified, but he had the most chill disposition about it.
He understands what you need to go through to get sober. And he probably feels bad because he knows that you're going to go through a lot of spiritual pain and whatnot. But he knows that there's a home and there's a hope for you. Unlike my parents were old school Koreans. They didn't really speak English. They don't know what alcoholism is, even though my dad was an alcoholic. My dad kept calling AA ah.
Oh, wow.
Why you go ah? I go, it's AA. I don't know. What, you understand what I'm saying?
Smack.
Yeah, smack. He was like a violent rageaholic. And then when I went to rehabs in high school, they wouldn't really go to the parental, like the group
Meeting.
therapies and stuff because they just didn't understand. They felt uncomfortable.
Culturally, it's so white to do Greek therapy.
Yeah.
Group therapy.
Yeah.
Well, therapy at all
Therapy at all, yeah.
is tough.
But then I think groups even like another level. It's like X Games.
I did group therapy with my dad one time. It was called Knees to Knees. So I was at the McDonald Center in La Jolla. And it's no longer there, but it's a rehab. The families come, they all form a gigantic circle in the auditorium. And then there's two chairs in the center of the circle. And a father and a son or a mother and a daughter, whatever, they get in the center of the circle and they touch knees. And then the son reveals something about their past that their parents don't know.
Oh.
So I told my dad that I was molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
I unfortunately have heard you tell
Yeah,
this story.
when I was
Is
living in
this
Minnesota.
Is this
No,
real?
this is real.
Okay.
And this
okay.
will be,
I got
it's going to be
worried.
hard for us. You should hear him trying to tell this story to two other comedians on their podcast.
Yeah.
And they're prepared to hear him say he got molested. They've braced themselves for
Yeah,
it.
Right.
yeah.
And then he hits them with the
Yeah.
Down syndrome.
All
And then he
right.
hits them with every day for a whole summer. And now they think,
Or you keep adding on.
yes,
right?
every time we get stable.
Oh my. Okay, so
Anyway,
you
I tell
told
my
your
dad that, and then there was like this pause in the room, and he went,
He laughed.
he laughed, and then my brother and my mom start laughing,
Oh.
and then I start laughing, and then everyone starts laughing. It was so weird.
It's weird, but is it nice?
it
It was
might
like
be-
you broke some tension.
It felt good to get it out because that was in me.
It probably would have been worse if everyone started crying. Like, wouldn't you have felt even more like, oh God,
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But in retrospect, it was a funny experience, I guess, a memory.
story?
Well, yeah, and I think for people on the outside who haven't grown up in a lot of chaos, that sounds crazy. But I definitely think if you're under fire a lot, it's the only option. Every family I knew that was in the situations I was in, or all my friends who were divorced parents and stepdads running through, or boyfriends that were alcoholic, everyone had a huge sense of humor about it. I don't think you had an option.
So we were talking about what causes it. So now I'm getting a better understanding about why I think I am who I am.
Yes.
Thank you so much for clearing. I've thought about it for years, and I never thought maybe it could be both.
Well, I think everyone wants more than anything, just for efficiency and laziness, for everything to be one explanation. There's a chapter in this Malcolm Gladwell book about airplane crashes. It's never one thing. An airplane almost never crashes because the wing broke or the engine went out. It's always 4 or 5 things go wrong, and it hits critical mass and then it crashes. I think we're the same. To try to like figure out the silver bullet of addiction, I think is not realistic.
Yeah.
How old were mom and dad when they came from Korea, and were they together when they were there already?
No, so my dad came first, made it to LA, late 60s. And then my mom's brother-in-law knew my dad's brother. They met through that. But my mom didn't like my dad because he drank a lot and he was weird.
Already?
Yeah, already. I guess he was stalking her or whatever. So then she moved to Wisconsin.
Oh my goodness.
And then he followed her there.
Double down.
He doubled down. Yeah.
Which in the 60s was romantic. Now it's scary.
But he showed up with steak. I guess Koreans really like meat.
The
Well, Korean
barbecues are on every
barbecue.
block. Yeah.
So he bought this nice piece of steak and brought it to her house.
Oh, my Lord.
And I guess that won her over.
It is romantic.
Yeah.
Huge
That makes
porterhouse.
me sad for her that it worked that quickly.
So my mom, during the Korean War, she witnessed her sister, my aunt, get run over by a military truck.
Oh my.
Right. And like she had to go up to the house, grab rice bags with my grandmother and my grandfather and my uncles and aunts. And they had to pick my aunt up, her body parts.
Oh.
It's okay.
How old was she?
No, this is awful.
No, it's fine.
See, you would not have done well with the crying.
Lived through it. We lived through it.
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was like 8 or 9 years old.
Older sister or younger sister?
Younger.
Oh,
No, older.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Then they buried my aunt, and then she comes to America and meets my dad, who was like this alcoholic, rageaholic, violent guy. Just trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. Old school immigrants, they get layers of skin
100%.
to protect their heart.
Pachyderms. Like an elephant.
Yeah. And so when my dad died, she was devastated, obviously, but you could also see weight lifted.
Relief, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was weird. Like she could breathe.
She's been attached to a time bomb that went off all the time and just anticipating their next explosion. How fucking stressful.
If I hear a loud noise, I instantly go into trauma. He was one of those explosive guys. You just be eating with the family, and then he would just overturn the table.
Out
I
of
always wanted to
nowhere.
do that. Like sometimes I wish I was a worse person because I've seen it in movies and I have
Yeah.
wanted to do it.
Me too. I'm going to
Yeah, right. It seems like the ultimate dad
Or the
move.
tablecloth thing.
Oh,
With the
that's more of a
trick.
magic.
Yeah. Still, those are two things involving table I've always wanted to do.
Yeah. We could do the latter, no problem.
Because that's not as traumatic as the tablecloth. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
No, everyone's like, whoa, dad.
Yeah.
And the other one
The other one.
is like, I need alcohol or something to
Yeah.
regulate
Yeah.
myself.
Now, if I'm at a coffee shop or whatever, and I hear anything, I instantly go into that flight mode. I mean, I'm more of a freezer. In fact, it seeped into auditions.
Can I ask just really quickly, when dad would get that way, would you try to basically just disappear, like to be invisible so that you didn't catch the wrath?
You were always going to get the wrath. There was no running. So I think I resorted more to freeze. So I would just freeze and take it. You know, I tried to run away from home a couple of times, but I always came back.
Would you try to cheer mom up in these moments? Is this the birth of comedy? I'm not even, I know it's such a cheesy question.
Over time, I built resentment toward her for not really protecting us. So there was a time where I was mad at her as well. And she would also not close fist punch you, but she would be very physical with you too.
Culturally, I only have one other friend I've talked about this with. Her parents are from Korea. She was actually born in Korea. But she's like, no, I got my ass kicked.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. So do you think maybe culturally,
100%.
it wasn't even unique to your dad?
Yeah, maybe bow. I mean, that's cultural too.
Maybe pick that.
Yeah.
version.
Do something other than that. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cultural. And also, they didn't speak a lot of English.
Did they feel estranged from you at all? Or obviously you speak Korean.
No.
You don't.
I know like 6 words.
Oh my God.
I can understand it. Like if I watch Squid Games, I don't need the subtitles maybe. I don't know, but I still do.
You watch Physical 100?
Are you Physical 100?
My
Are you
favorite
asking me,
show.
Am I Physical 100?
No, this is a show. It's a Korean reality show that I'm obsessed with. Who has the best physique?
Is it good?
It's incredible.
They're all Koreans?
They're all Korean. Well, there's a couple of whiteys in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm so curious how these whiteys found themselves in Korea in this reality show about bodies. I'm very interested in those.
Is
people.
that on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I'm going to watch it.
There's 2 seasons and it's phenomenal.
Okay, Physical
But I have a
100.
great suspicion that the dubbing isn't at all what they're saying, and I really need someone to solve that for me.
Okay. Okay, I'll be the guy.
You'll take that on.
And me and that person will do it. Also, there's certain words in Korean that you can't even translate into English.
Right. There's no comp.
There's one word, because me, my friend Gene, and Dumbfounded were at a Korean restaurant the other day, and there's a word called nunchi. Nunchi. Say it with me.
I'm afraid.
We're not allowed. So sorry.
Nunchi.
I want to so bad because I can tell it
You
feels
do,
good.
you-
And when I'm by myself tonight in my shower, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it alone.
Yes, I'm going to do
You're
it
gonna
alone.
love it.
Yeah,
It's a
because
great
it's just a like the grunt.
Yeah, just groan it out first.
Yeah, because you want to get the spirit of it before you even get.
Dude, you know about words, huh? Dude, you're the best.
Hit me one more time.
Nunchi.
I feel like you're about to draw a sword on me.
But it's
or
not a
something.
bad word. It's a great word.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What's it kind of
Even
mean?
better.
So nunchi is instinct, but it's far more than that. It's about etiquette. It's about reading.
Like reading the room.
Yeah, reading the room is a part of it.
Knowing your place, maybe.
Yeah. Let's say I'm going to a red carpet event, which I do often.
Of course. I constantly see you at those. Yeah.
And I'm bringing a date who's not in the business.
Right.
Right.
Of course. Try to wow them.
Yeah. I'm trying to wow them.
Very
Yeah.
It
impressive.
really works.
Yeah,
I know.
Red carpets really do it.
They're very bright. Yeah. They get your attention.
Yeah. And then I'm maybe taking a photo with somebody that people know. But then if my date goes, can I get a selfie with you?
She doesn't know Nunchi.
She doesn't know Nunchi.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
You go,
understand
no
what I'm
Nunchi.
No.
Yeah, but I don't say
It's
it.
kind of like
I'll let you say it.
social awareness.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh.
Social awareness is a part of it as well,
Okay.
right? So nunchi is a word in Korean. So maybe when you're watching your reality show, some of the words aren't translated
Well,
correctly.
that's true. They're like, there's not even a direct
Yeah, yeah.
translation.
The irony is, if we had said that right now on the podcast, we wouldn't have it.
Oh, correct. It would have been a display that we don't have it.
We wouldn't be socially aware if we were saying it.
I don't understand. Please, Monica.
We're not allowed to say the word.
Well, you can say the
can say-
word.
just don't do the act-
You
just
just
don't do the
can't
accent.
do
I'm afraid to do
what I'm
all.
going to do in the shower tonight.
God.
One more time.
Yeah.
Because I want to get it right tonight.
Nunchi.
Fuck. It sounds so
That
good.
sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't people have nunchi?
Well, do you think all Koreans have nunchi? Obviously, the word exists because people don't have nunchi, and that's why they
that's
got to
true.
point it out. The bigger question is, why is that so important there that it requires its own word? And I would argue that in a more collectivist mentality, tall poppy's a bigger thing, or individuality, or these things that you would stick out from the group might be a little higher stakes.
That makes sense.
Whereas here, no nunchi's almost rewarded hourly.
Oh, it is?
Don't you see? The person does go get a photo with someone they shouldn't. Then they
Oh,
post
right.
and then they get a bunch of attention and no one's going like, why the, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you the worst nunchi, no nunchi story you've ever heard.
There should be a children's book, no nunchi.
Actually,
Should we go
We're a
off?
band. Like, no doubt, but no nunchi. We're from Orange County. We are no nunchi. So you have to be the singer, Monica.
oh my
Oh,
God.
that's her worst
No,
assignment.
No
thanks.
nunchi. So when I was on Mad TV many, many years ago, right? This is probably 2001, 2002. Obviously, you've been to the upfronts.
Yep.
So if you get on a show, right, and it gets picked up, they fly all the networks in 1 week. Every night is a different network. So Tuesday night's Fox night or whatever, right? And so they fly you out, nice hotel.
Sidebar.
Go ahead.
Funnest flights in the world because you're there with all these actors you recognize.
The best.
In fact, if you're really obsessed with celebrity, that would be the move is just book yourself on a flight New York, LA around that time, you're going to see like 7 or 8.
And you also feel like, oh, am I cool
A part of this, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
One of my favorite moments, sorry, another
it's okay,
sidebar.
it's okay.
I'm about to fly to the Upfronts. I'm in the first class lounge at LA, and Will Arnett happens to have a show on NBC. I have a show on NBC, and then Jason Ritter has a show on NBC. The three of us go into the bathroom. We're peeing at 3 urinals. Some poor guy in a stall is pooping, I guess.
Losing his ass.
He farts so loud in the middle of this, and Arnett goes, "Get some!" Like he threw.
That's so funny.
He threw a "get some" out, and the three of us just started laughing so fucking hard. But you're never at the first class lanes with like 10 comedians are in the toilet with you. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So up front, yes, they
All
fly
right,
you
so
out.
I met this girl in an AA meeting.
Right,
Right.
yeah,
And she was super hot, open micer comedian. And I thought she was very attractive. This is like a month before upfront. And then she kind of made it seem like maybe there's something. Like an idiot, I'm like, hey, do you want to go to the upfront
Oh
with
my
me?
God, Bobby.
No, okay.
This is terrible. This is the worst idea I've ever heard in my
Oh, it
life.
gets bad.
She's a comedian. She wanted to go.
Precisely.
The worst move I ever made in my life. Talk about no nunchi. No nunchi, dude. Right, so now we're at the gala.
You're bringing her to events, not just to the hotel
Yeah,
on
so
the
the
trip.
Fox dinner
Oh.
gala. There's one table filled with people from That 70s Show. The other table's from American Idol.
Apex TV time.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and I forgot who Mike McDonald goes, look at your date right now.
Oh, boy. By the way, Michael McDonald's the best
He's
person.
one of
to
the funniest
point.
people on
Yes.
planet Earth. And I look, and this girl
Oh, no.
is giving her business card
Oh, no.
to the president of Fox. Gail Berman at the time.
Yeah, and she was a Goliath in the industry.
Goliath.
She was, yeah.
Right? And I
One of the
see her
legendary.
basically saying, I'm a comedian,
Oh.
and I've been doing all these shows. You should check me out.
She's shooting her shot.
I sprint.
Oh,
Like, if I could turn into the Yellow Hulk, I would. I was rage. I grab her, not violently, in a very, like, polite
Gentle.
manner, gentle grab.
hey, they needed to talk to you about something over here. You just got a phone call.
Yeah, something like that. I go, can I talk to you for a second? This is how big Gail Berman is. It's not as if I've ever met her.
Well, right. I'm imagining you are there. The 70s show's there. Those are huge stars. You're on year 2 of Mad TV or year 1. You almost feel like you don't even belong. And now your date is cold calling the president.
I went from open mic
Yes.
to a TV show. I went
was
from
your first-
homelessness to getting an apartment.
You just took your first class flight, probably.
Yes, it was dreamy.
The first hotel you can't park your car in front of the door.
Yeah.
There's a lot of firsts
And I
happening.
gently touch her arm.
Yes.
May I speak to you for a second?
Oh.
And I went into like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, well, I'm a comedian. I'm just networking. And then I had to spend like another 2 days with her. She slept on the couch or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or in the hall.
And there was nothing sexual or anything like that.
This is my point about America, though, because America is riddled with this lore of people doing exactly what she
Exactly.
did. You hear all these stories. I slipped so-and-so my tape while they were eating dinner. Enough of those things worked out that has fueled a lot of people doing no nunchi all over the place.
Yeah.
Real.
I just think that instinctually, though, I mean, how is that not ingrained into one's body? For instance, when I was coming up at open mics, I was in San Diego and I was a doorman. And every weekend we would get big headliners to play the weekend. I mean, at the time, there were big guys like Carlos Mencia and Pauly Shore and these types of guys.
This is who you end up opening
Right.
for.
We opened for them over the weekends. They came up to me and go, hey, you're funny. And then once they start a conversation, then I can talk. But in no way would I go up to them
Exactly.
Yes.
out of the nowhere and go, hey, I'm Bobby. You know, that's
I
insane.
know.
to
The
me.
audacity.
I'm on the path.
That was ingrained in me not to do that. And I just don't understand why people don't have that.
So I'm the same as you. This show has complicated that because obviously I need guests at times. And I'm like, even calling someone who I think would even want to be on the show.
Right.
I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
Oh,
it's painful to do
Get
that.
somebody else to do it.
Well, we have certain people, but then they can't
I
get to
do
the
it mainly.
person.
But if it's someone that Dax knows personally, he needs to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very, very hard for me. I burn up inside when I'm doing it.
I stopped doing it. There's no.
There's no reward worth.
Not only that, I feel like I'm stalking my friends. It's the worst feeling. So I just decided to get other people to do it.
But aren't there exceptions? Like, what about Brad Pitt if you were best friends with him?
No Brad Pitt. If I had Brad Pitt's phone number, all I would do at night is just stare at it all
I
day.
know, right?
I do reread some of our exchanges.
Oh, I mean, you're so blessed. What are they? I'm melting.
They're all
I
about
love him.
motorsports.
Oh, really?
He's my number one. I tell this too often on here, but I know you'll really get a kick out of it. My friend Kareem and I, years ago, we were talking about how much we love Brad Pitt. And I said, this is the level at which I love him. If he and I were like going up to Santa Barbara for the weekend together, and halfway there, he's like, shit, I think we got a flat tire. And then pulled over and said, like, will you check on the tire? And if I got out and looked at the tire and it was fine, and then he drove away and left me on the side of the road, I would go, what a free spirit. Like, there's no amount of abuse
I know.
that I wouldn't somehow take.
Yeah, that's so fucking funny. I mean, I know people that know him, and he loves comedy, I heard.
Yes.
And he's
Well,
also-
look, he like goes and does Dave's show. He did Jackass back in the day.
Mark Maron's podcast.
He's a supporter.
He's just a great guy, but don't ever mention his name again. I just get really kind of juicy.
I
Not in a
understand. We
sexual
all
way.
do.
Not in a sexual way.
Well, it can be sexual.
Inevitably, because people know I'm so obsessed with him, they'll go like, well, what would you do with him physically?
Yeah, what?
How far would you go?
Yeah, how far would I go? And I think I really would kiss him. Would you kiss him?
In what way?
Would you make out with him?
Oh my God. Tongues? Tongues?
Yeah.
If he's
Okay, let me-
consenting.
I'm trying to give you the best,
You're going to give me your honest answer.
complete honest.
Yes.
Now, I'm me or am I
No, you're you.
someone
You're
different?
you.
I'm Bobby Lee, where I'm at now in my
he
life.
goes, you guys are hanging. He goes, I would fucking love to kiss you, Bobby.
Well, like, and we're private. We're not out.
No, right. You're not at a restaurant.
We're in my car. No.
No, that's
that's
too
too
intimate.
intimate.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
are in public, but no one's looking.
we're at the outfronts.
You're at a hike.
Okay.
You're on a hike, and there's nobody around.
Okay, there's
It's
no one around.
early
And
morning
there's a
hike.
gigantic tree.
You get to the very peak up here in Griffith
I'm not
Park.
going to get that high.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Actually.
Because then you
Anyway,
get you out of breath to kiss,
Yeah.
and you think you do a bad job.
Yeah, I'll be exhausted.
It's the beginning of the hike. No one's sweaty yet.
I would have to ask questions.
Okay, go ahead. I'm Brad.
All right.
Bobby.
Hi, Brad. Could I just
Well,
say
you wouldn't
something?
say, hey, Brad.
Because you guys
Oh, yeah,
are
Hold on,
oh,
no,
yeah,
we're-
yeah.
hold on.
Oh,
You already fucked it up.
Stop.
Brad would then go, I wanted to kiss you, but then you said, hey, Brad, and now I don't want to kiss you anymore. So we're just hanging. I'm Brad.
I need some questions before we
Oh,
all right,
okay.
the
Some
situation. All right.
parameters.
Have I hung out with him before?
Yes, we're friends. Now start referring to me as
Oh,
him.
no. Now this
Yeah,
is
we're
way-
friends. We hang out kind of a lot.
Dude, what you texted me last night was so funny.
Oh my God, thanks. I stole that from someone else.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. The last time we hiked, I was thinking, I would not mind kissing Bobby. I wouldn't mind at all. I think I want to kiss you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably kiss you. Dude, hypothetically, I would. Yeah. I mean,
Probably.
yeah, why are you laughing?
You just can't pass up. Like, do you know how many women would cut off a finger to experience kissing him?
I would do it.
I would do it.
You'd have to do
So
it.
I guess my answer for it has always been everything up till shirts off, standing kissing.
Okay, you and Brad, you guys are on a cruise.
Oh, wow. We
Okay.
took a cruise
The
together.
cruise goes down,
Oh, fuck.
right? You guys are the lone survivors. You're on an island. You know, Brad seems like he knows everything. So he knows how to filter
He's
water.
made us a shelter.
Right. There's a shelter. And now years go by. You guys have beards.
Oh, so he looks just like Legends of the Fall when you go on a
Yes,
weird
yes,
boat
yes,
trip.
Yeah.
You're smoking opium at the bottom of the boat.
Yeah. You look like Tom Hanks from Castaway.
Oh,
You're
can I
really
look
skinny.
can
You
I
are.
look- I wouldn't let him kiss me if I look like that.
No, I mean
he deserves
if
better.
you don't like, too much shellfish.
Can I look like Hemsworth or something?
No. You're that
You're
guy.
on the island.
You're on the
There's-
island.
You can't work out.
Okay.
Now, would you go beyond kissing?
I'm going to give you a sincere answer. I don't think we can know what it's like. I'm sincere.
Are you being real?
I'm being real.
You're right. I don't know.
I don't know what it's
Yeah.
like to have spent an entire year on an island, come to accept that I'm never getting off this island. I'm with this person, and if I want to have any sexuality while I'm still on planet Earth before I die, it's going to have to be with this person. I don't know what that whole context does. Right?
You're so right. I don't know.
I don't know.
People need intimacy. I think
Yes.
you would, and maybe it wouldn't be super visible, but you guys would cuddle.
Because on islands, it gets
Snuggle.
really cold at nights.
Exactly.
Well,
and
cuddling I'd be fine with right out of the gate. My best friend Aaron and I will cuddle.
Yeah. But if you started getting
Yeah.
aroused day two,
right.
Right.
would you question yourself? Like, why am I getting aroused?
I think if I was-
two's early.
Well,
Too soon?
I feel very confident in saying I wouldn't get aroused cuddling him
Right
on
away.
day two.
Okay.
But a year in to this experience,
Yeah,
cuddling, I don't know.
You, me either.
So I don't
Let's
even
Let's
really
leave it
want
at
to
that.
answer.
Let's leave it at that. We don't know.
Yeah. That's a
We don't know.
TBD.
Yeah. Tom Hardy, 6 months.
Oh.
Tom
He's
Hardy
your
for,
type?
Tom Hardy for me, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he above Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, never.
No, no.
Okay.
And he says 90 something.
I would want to take care of him and
Yeah,
like
me
nurture
too,
him
me too.
as he gets
You feel like you were
older.
taking advantage a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what do they call that? Elder abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, elder abuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Back to upfront.
Let's go back. Let's get off the island.
But listen, that gal, that's worth exploring.
What gal you're talking about? The
The
girl?
gal
No
that you
Nunchi.
took.
No, Nunchi girl. Years later, you stopped seeing her around. I heard she got married, had kids.
Oh, good.
She got out of the game.
Have you had that sense that girls want to be with you because they want to be close to comedy and they want to be in the world of it? I feel like she would have confirmed my worst fear if I were you in the way she behaved immediately when she had the opportunity. What would have been going on is not only my fear of now I'm going to get kicked out of this party I just got invited to, and I mean that metaphorically.
Yeah.
Additionally, fuck. Some voice in my head was like, this girl doesn't really like me. She just wants to be kind of closer to the flame. Was any of that happening?
At the time, it was new because before I got onto Mad TV, I wasn't an incel, but it wasn't like I had a lot of options.
You weren't dating a ton.
Yeah, maybe once a year I would like get lucky and make out with somebody.
Because you partied a lot and that helps.
I was sober then. I got sober at 17 to the age of 30.
First of all, let's take 1 second to say that that is nearly impossible.
So impressive.
When I meet these guys who have like 35 years, they got sober when they're 17,
Yeah.
I'm like in complete awe of them.
My sponsor's like that. My sponsor got sober young.
Yeah, my old sponsor, same way. And it's so fucking impressive. How does the addict voice in your head not go like, I was a kid. I don't really know about me. I know what it was like to be a pubescent, crazy person living in a crazy household.
There's so much we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the girl thing, and then I want to talk about that. Monica, you have that in your head?
Yeah,
People-
it's
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
we got it.
Right,
we got
right,
it.
right.
Don't rely on Rob.
We got it all
So your
organized.
point about, you're saying right now, do you think girls,
Well, at that time, did you have that fear?
I'm single now, and I have been dating. I mean, you have to check off so many things before sexuality kind of occurs.
Yeah, and you gotta like somehow determine,
Do they want a story?
yeah, do they want a story?
Well, there are certain things you do. For instance, if I make out with somebody, I make sure after I leave them to text them, I had a really good time. They have to go, oh, me too, it was so great to meet. What a great, thanks for dinner, this and that. Like, I need that exchange to feel peaceful because
Yeah.
so they can't lie.
Right.
So it's weird that now you have to do that.
But back to the girl.
Okay, yeah,
When that was happening, did you already have that fear, or were you like, I don't really care why she's here. I'm just happy to be with somebody here.
At that time, there was no cancel culture. Those paranoias weren't there.
Just the self-worth stuff. Am I being used?
But Dax, Brad Pitt is being used for his good looks.
Great, because I do think that's another way to look at it, which is like people go, do you think she likes you because of this or that? And I'm like, I don't really care why someone likes me. I just want someone to like me.
Kalila, my ex, we lived together for 10 years, and they're like, she's too hot. She's probably using him. But is that really? Because Kalila, when I'm sick, she makes me soup and takes care of me. When I have food poisoning, I had food poisoning in my car. I shit all over my Prius.
Yeah.
She cleaned it.
Oh, my
You know what I mean?
Lord.
That's love.
She still had sex with me, right? So that's not it. There's a love there, and there's a care.
Or even I was watching you guys do this weird thing where you could either answer a gnarly question or take a shot of ginger. And she was asked to rate your body out of 10.
Yeah.
And the sincerity with which she's like, Bobby, you are a 10 to me. You've always been a 10 to me. You're still a 10 to me, even though we're broken up. I love your
what a
belly so
special
much. She like loves
person.
Bobby's belly. And I'm like, I 100% believe her. I would
Yeah.
not have thought that about her just based on what I saw.
All the girls that go out with me have that to a degree. I've been on dates with a beautiful woman, and then she'll say, in the 70s, my dad used to take me to these kung fu film festivals. And you're like, yeah, just watching them move. I just really like them. I fell in love with Asians.
Oh, like they're
There's always
just
like a
saying,
little kind of a fetishy kind
Do
of a
you
thing.
love?
Oh, sure,
okay,
sure,
we
sure.
gotta
I love it.
talk
I love it. 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 I love it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Why?
As soon as they say, I just really like Indian girls, I want you to leave. Then it's not about me anymore.
Yeah.
But why isn't it just that's what they find physically attractive?
I know, it's
the
like-
skin color and the features. I don't understand why that can't be your type.
I know. I understand. I think maybe
Your
it's
type
my
is
issue.
jocks.
I like taller women. I don't know why, but they're like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". I love it.
You can't get enough.
When I date women my height, it never lasts. I think when I was a kid, my parents were both 5 foot.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was looking at them, and as a kid, I'm like, oh no, I got to go taller for the family.
Oh, right, for your future
For the
progeny.
future, for the
Oh,
lead
for the progeny.
generations.
Yeah.
Let's get taller here.
This country is a land of opportunity.
If a guy goes, Yeah, I'm just really into Indian chicks. You don't like it?
No, they can think it, but I don't need them to say it because it immediately becomes you're just here because of your fetish, but it has nothing to do with me or my personality or anything.
That could be the initial attraction, right? But for somebody to hang out with you, they're going to have to like all the other things.
Yeah.
Your personality, income, I mean, just different social standing, all
Well,
that
they
stuff.
should like those things about me. They're all pretty good.
But without making it feel like I'm attacking you. You have many reasons why you wouldn't trust someone would like you.
Legitimate reasons.
I don't know that they're legitimate as much as if you had easier time believing people liked you in general, I don't know that you would be shining a light on all these specific categories. So another thing that Monica, we've argued about this in the past, she's like, I would never date someone who was a fan of the show because they
Not
like me
never,
because...
but it's a little bit of a turnoff.
And I said, well, Monica, you're not playing a character on this show. You're yourself. If someone's fallen in love with you, like they actually love you. You're showing all sides of yourself.
Monica, I want to say something to you.
And now to find out, like, if someone thinks the hottest girls in the world are Indian, and then that would even be a turn. It's like, well, you're the number one most attractive type, they think. And they know you from the show, and they actually know you. Those are things I think they're a defense because those are fine things for someone to be attracted to you about.
I'm dating a girl who lives in Ohio.
Okay.
And she DM'd me. She had on a thermos my podcast sticker. And we started talking. Then we started FaceTiming. And I hang out with her maybe once a month, every other month, because she lives far. There is a comfort level there because she knows my character defects and some of my oddities and my
You've already shown her your bad side.
Exactly.
On
right?
air.
Yeah. So she'll go, yeah, I know you don't like that kind of drink.
You like that.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to audition.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
false
Every
advertising.
date is an audition. I want to be able to do the song and dance and like, oh, is she going to like this? She already likes all my bad shit.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
Yeah, like you meet a stranger on a plane, you guys are getting along great, and you're like, well, I guess maybe date 3, I tell her, like, I'm a hardcore addict, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to find me one day, maybe. Here's the playbook. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to do that. You talked about your mistakes with your ex-girlfriend who you still have a show with. You're already owning up your shitty patterns that you do in relationships. Now, I understand if you're playing Rachel on Friends and the person's in love with Rachel from Friends and then they meet you and now you're like, oh, fuck. How long before they realize I'm not Rachel? I'm much richer. And prettier. I'm Jennifer Aniston.
That's exactly what it is.
I got to own the fact that I'm not in the marginalized class. But if an Indian girl says to me, I love tall white boys, I'm like, perfect.
You're like,
That's
get
me.
in line. So does everyone in the whole world.
But some people like fat Korean guys.
I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know what
There's
to
one
say.
I'm suspicious of, but it's not of Indian. So I am suspicious of white guys who have a, quote, Asian fetish for girls. That one I need to ask a few follow-up questions.
Well, I'm Asian. Go ahead.
Yes, because my
I'm
fear
an expert.
in that situation, if it's just aesthetic, great. But if it's that you think Asians are more submissive and you'll be able to be more dominant and get away with more shit, and that's why you like Asians, I don't know that I love that as a motivation to have a fetish.
Yeah, I'm worried about Asian women that only go out with white dudes. I don't want to get canceled, but I feel like there's an elitism or something about it.
Well, I'll tell you what it is because I
Yeah,
have
go-
this,
yeah, go
right?
ahead.
Where you spend your whole life trying to get the attention of the white guy at your high school. The quarterback is often a handsome white guy. So that is what starts to become ingrained. It's not about anything other than that. That just becomes like the highest get.
Yeah, because they're holding all the status.
It's wrong, but it's what
Yeah.
happens.
We
Yeah.
all want to be validated by the highest status person available to us.
Yeah.
Whether Angelina Jolie's your type or not, you'd go on 10 dates with her because you're like, I can't believe she likes me.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would 100%. Yeah.
6 months.
6 months.
You might
6
even
months. 6
find-
months.
you
Yeah,
might
yeah,
Save
even-
his
yeah.
top
might-
party.
It take you 3 years to realize it wasn't a match. That status goes a
Yeah,
long
yeah, yeah.
way.
But when I'm with white women, though, I've noticed, I'm going to say something. So growing up, I'm much older than you. How old are you, Monica?
36.
So I'm 52. So I was in an era in America where there was a lot of microaggressions
Oh, yeah.
with racism. Just little things that white people would say.
Well, also, I was thinking, too, because we're roughly the same age. You're a few years older than me.
Yeah.
But you spent your time going through school at, like, the height of Karate Kid. All these things would pop up where it had to have all been fucked up. It was fine to be kind of overtly dismissive of Asians in the way that the movies were. Long Duck Dong.
So I talked to Getty one enough. So when Magnum PI was a show, I would reoccur on it. And one day they're like, well, who do you want as a sushi chef in this thing? I go, try to get Getty Watanabe.
Is that who played?
Long Duck Dong, right? Because I just wanted to be around him. I grew up with him, right?
And he fucking deserves something.
Right. So
for being the token.
Yeah, so I'm with Getty. We're sitting around and I go, hey, that role, it blew you up, but it didn't do well for us. You know what I mean? It's not a really good image for us. And he goes, you have to understand, Bobby, I'm an actor. That was my first audition in like 4 years with anybody of my type. And then when I showed up at the audition, every Asian guy that's an actor was there fighting to get this one little thing. And that's why I love Getty Watanabe. I love what he went through, his struggles, because he's such a talented guy.
Well, that's what sucks. So he's objectively insanely funny in the role.
Insanely good.
Holy smokes. The way he's playing Hammered and riding the exercise
Oh my God.
Like, forget the Asian stereotypes that are happening.
Yeah.
The physicality of what was it?
Long Duck Dong.
Every time I say it, I'm like, it couldn't be that bad, is it? Yes, it is. It is Long Duck Dong.
I don't know what
16 Candles.
16 candles. And he gets drunk for the very first time, and then he has sex for the first time. And he is comic relief. We're going back to check in with him at the party.
Stuff. In high school, people would walk by me and say that.
Of course.
That's what he was trying to say
That's what I
about
was trying to
Karate
say.
Oh, right.
I used a dumb example, Karate, because there's a bunch of white people.
Yeah. So, I grew up with that. There was never a movie where we were the leading man. I've never seen back then an Asian man kiss anybody on any screen, TV, or anything.
Right.
Not even in a Pepto-Bismol commercial or something. Nothing, right?
Well, yeah.
Not much kissing happening.
I've never seen it, okay?
Honey, did your diarrhea pass from that Pepto? Yeah, it's all gone. Oh, good.
Right. I did a commercial with Jane Lynch once. Her and I made out on a couch. It was for Booking.com, and I remember going, oh, this would have never happened 20, 30 years ago.
No.
So I'm always very aware. I feel great when that happened because I'm like, oh, I just never knew that this day would come. But anyway, now, because of all those little microaggressions I grew up with, I sometimes, when I'm with white girls that are mean to me, I kind of go, why am I in this situation? It's because I'm used to it. And so what I'm trying to do is set boundaries and not date people like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to treat myself better. It's like when I used to have a bad audition. So one time I had this audition in front of Amy Poehler. It was so bad. I froze.
And you must have wanted to do so good. We love her.
I love her too. I was in my car, I took a bottle of water, and I smashed my head to the point where I was bleeding in my face.
Sure.
To punish myself for fucking up. Because, my dad would do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I just don't do that anymore to myself.
Good.
I don't put myself in any of those kind of situations. I don't punish myself over things anymore repeatedly because I want to try to just have empathy for myself and love myself.
I bet you and I have shared this thought where the decency will extend someone in an AA meeting. I'll hear something that they did. And my first thought is, yeah, dude, life's hard and we fuck up and we're going to do better tomorrow. It's fine. And if I do the same thing that person did, it would be months of self-flagellation and I'm a terrible piece of shit.
100%.
And sometimes I'll go as a goal, if you could even be half as nice as you are to strangers at a meeting as you are to yourself, that would be a huge improvement.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
Oh, I know. It's brutal.
We punish ourselves.
And that feels genetic because my daughter, we've bonded over this. She's a little girl. I'll go, did you ever embarrass yourself? Oh, yeah, and we'll tell funny stories. We've embarrassed ourselves. And then she'll go, yeah, and then I'm so mean to myself in my head afterwards. I'm like, me too. I call myself terrible names. She's like, you wouldn't believe what I call myself.
But do you tell her to stop doing that or no?
Stop is maybe a pipe dream, but you're not alone. I'm like that too. And yeah, it blows. In AA, you wouldn't go so you should stop drinking. You go oh, fuck yeah, brother. I did the same thing.
Yeah, back in the day before Bill met Bob in 1935, he would go you need to do this. It wasn't working. It's until he met Bob for the first time where he went, this is what I went through. These are my experiences. And these are the feelings attached to those experiences. And then Bob was like, oh, I relate to you. That's exactly what I go through.
Yeah, and then they would go to a hospital and all they would say is their story. They're not there to go this is bad for your liver. The motherfucker's yellow.
Yeah.
We know it's bad for his liver. He's in the liver ward.
Sometimes I think without those guys meeting, what would I be doing right now?
Oh, I know. There's some bizarre magic to it. It's flawed. I have complaints.
They need to update it.
I agree. I think we're in an interesting phase of it in its history. And there's a call to, I think, make the mistake Christians have made and that constitutionalists have made, where it's just you start revering the beginning of something so much that you're not taking on any new information. Everything should evolve. There's no sacred text. Everything needs a rewrite as more information is known.
Like if I didn't address my trauma and do EMDR and see a trauma therapist and do all that kind of work, right? I don't know if I'd be sitting here right now.
Yeah.
Totally. I had a friend, thank God, I'll give him a shout out, Kevin. I was going through a ton of stuff a few years ago, and he said to me, you know, AA is not going to be enough with your childhood. Like your brain wiring
right.
is fucked.
Wow.
And there's no step for that. You're going to have to really figure out how to get into your brain a bit. And then I did start therapy in a good way. But yeah, I was hoping it would, because fuck, it does cure so much of your shit.
It's great.
You do wake up as a person you couldn't have fathomed you'd be. Like you actually can hear when you're lying to yourself, and you can admit to people when you were lying. You can say sorry. Like these things were unimaginable to me. And you do start to think, well, I could probably solve every problem I have with this.
I think you can clean up most wreckage through doing the steps. I think there's just certain things that are so deep-seated into your body that it just doesn't work. How do you feel about people in the program without telling their sponsor doing ayahuasca?
I say this sincerely. I don't care what anyone does. There are people who use weed in the program that they seem to be fine. There are people that do ayahuasca or they do shrooms. I don't have an opinion on it. All I have is for me. I think we all have a different set of things that would set us off. I'm not one to prescribe. Now, if I was working with a dude and every time he did an edible, I know your story. You took an edible on an airplane ride to Hawaii and you woke up 3 months later and you're on the verge of dying.
Oh.
So I would say to you, I don't think edibles for you work, but I also think people do it and I just don't have an opinion.
My sponsor says ayahuasca, no. Which is
Okay.
fine. I love my sponsor, so I'm not going to do it. But I do know a couple of people that are super active in the program that did it a couple years ago, one time. It was a great experience for them. They didn't do other drugs or anything after that.
I believe them.
I believe them too.
I have watched documentaries on ayahuasca where it talks about, in the same way shrooms can as well, your brain starts functioning in a way where it forms new neural pathways and kind of breaks down these superhighways we have where you and I, something tiny happens to us and we react like someone has pointed a gun at us. Like I overreact to certain stimuli so dramatically that, yeah, if I could do ayahuasca and that part would be over. Now, I haven't done it. I would tell you if I did. At the same time, I'm also suspicious of you would take something that would fix you. I just think anytime I think I'm going to take something that's going to fix me, I do have a knee jerk that probably not.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it.
Also, risk reward for each individual person. You should know, and I think you two do, the likelihood of this going very poorly. And is that worth the reward of, quote, fixing?
I guess it depends how much pain you're in. I'm not in enough daily pain that I need to experiment with ayahuasca. I'm just not.
I would have to explore all the other alternatives before I made that decision. I'm doing trauma therapy and I do sometimes EMDR. In fact, there are some times where I go away to a place for a week and do like a week worth of psychotherapy, really just try to get in there. If those roads end and I'm still, then maybe I would consider it.
You're bringing up the best part, and this is what I should have said when you first said that. I don't think anyone should get sober to be miserable and suffer and be suicidal. I don't think that's the goal. So I'm not in a position where I'm so uncomfortable being alive and I'm doing all the stuff. So it's not fair for me to say that that person shouldn't do ayahuasca because I'm not suffering hourly, but there are people that are. And so you're going to tell somebody who's literally maybe the other option is killing themselves and they're already sober. Who am I to say you shouldn't try that thing? I'm not in the judgment game of it all. I don't really give a fuck what anyone does. If they're somehow drinking and going to 5 meetings a week and they go to their job every day and they're married and everyone's happy, well, then I don't even know. Maybe everything's
then they're probably
fine.
not an alcoholic.
Yeah, maybe they're not.
Yes.
It's not for me to say. I can only say that when I am doing that, I feel morally bankrupt and miserable.
I mean, I know guys that are hugely successful and just riddled with the disease. They show up to everything and their family loves them. Right. And they'll even say, yeah, I'm a chronic alcoholic. And they can just do it. I look at them, I go, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
the
do
difference.
I don't think there's a moral imperative about being an addict. I think if you are an addict and you're happy and everyone around you is happy, I don't think that's implicitly bad. For me, I'm very unhappy and the people around me are sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somehow Nicholson, and I don't want to get sued by him, but it appears this dude has gone hard his whole life and it has worked the fuck out for him. I'm jealous of it. I'm Gary Busey.
Oh, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll be in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, I'm
shit.
Charlie Sheen, dude.
Wrecking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring it
tiger blood, tiger blood, tiger blood. You know what I mean? I'm like that guy.
Wait, but this gets back to the pin. We're revisiting the pin. So you got
pin?
sober between 17 and 30.
Yeah.
Monica, you're so good.
It's in here.
You're
It's
the
up
best.
here.
You'll
17 to
never
30.
forget that name.
Yeah.
No, she's the best.
Yeah, so from 17,
How do we get there? When do you start using? So wait, there's bullying. Dad is violent. I can't really even begin to imagine what it's like to not be communicating with my parents and for them to not be communicating with me.
through time, I have a lot of empathy for them. They both experienced the Korean War. My mom witnessed my aunt. And then my dad never went to school. He was a street kid. He was kind of in gangs and stuff.
Started a great business.
Yeah, later on when he came to America. So, there is a little bit of empathy there. So I was born into that household. My parents had money. So we lived in affluent areas. And then we moved to San Diego from Minnesota when I was 11. I just was in so much pain. So my parents had a refrigerator in the garage, and my mom would stock it for my dad. Beers, other liquors, and he drank so much that I was just able to go in there.
They would never notice.
No.
And you were 11.
And also, I'm small.
Yeah.
So like a beer and a half, 2 beers would just obliterate me.
And give you relief.
Relief from it. And I remember just laying in bed, drunk. I would hide the cans and just being, oh.
Yeah, like the
This is
pressure was
great.
finally off.
Yeah.
God, I know.
The problem was I was outside my house one day and this skateboard kid flipped over his board and he started chopping up meth. I was like 11 or 12. I walked up to him. I go, I didn't even ask what it was. Like, can I have some?
At 11.
At 11, 12.
Well, I guess then when you were 11, that's 82. It's everywhere.
He does fast math.
It's everywhere.
Incredible.
My family's from rice production.
It literally was rampant in San Diego at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So ever present, and it was easy to get to.
You could order a truck of Sudafed, no one ask a question.
yeah,
Right, they hadn't even clamped
I mean, I
down.
didn't have a labs. I didn't do that. And then I just remember, oh, this is great. And then smoke weed, and I would steal money from my parents and get weed, meth, acid.
Did you also like that it allowed you to join a group of people quite easily? Because that's the other thing people leave out is a lot of early addicts were also quite lonely, and it's a pretty turnkey group of friends and a non-judgmental group of friends.
I always only had one guy that I would hang out with. Even later in life when I did relapse, I'm a loner user. I don't go to bars. I'm just in a hotel room.
Getting darker
Trapped.
and darker and darker.
Yeah, dark. One time, Andrew Santino came to my hotel room once. I was blackout drunk, and he walked in, and I had poo all over my body, just kind of like shaking. He remembers that. But when I was 17, I got sober.
Did your parents initiate that, or did you say I needed help?
They didn't know what.
They just thought you were American.
yeah,
They're like, fuck, we don't understand this kid. He's
Oh, yeah,
super
our fault.
American.
We had our kid in America. You know what I mean? Yeah, but no, at 13, they were like, don't be gay. At 17, they were, live. Don't die. You could see me dying. So I went to 2 or 3 different places before McDonald's Center when I was 17. I got sober there, and I met this old Korean man by the name of Dan. I just gave him a 40-year cake last week in San Diego. But this old Korean man who's in AA, who has long white hair, he has tattoos, he's a biker guy, but spoke fluent Korean. He became my sponsor when I was a junior in high school. And I stayed sober from then till 30, until I got on Mad TV, and then I relapsed.
Okay, great. Back to really just one last thing. You have this little brother.
Steve.
How much younger?
You're getting
3 years.
You're getting blasted. You knew that was happening to you, and I have to assume you had to have known it was happening to your little brother.
I took the brunt of it because my brother abided by the rules. So he would do everything he could to not get in trouble. So he took the straight A route. He took the I'm in sports and activities and made friends with people. I took the other route, which is interesting, but we both experienced trauma, but his trauma, he lashes out outwardly. So he's easy to snap and fight and get into physical confrontations. I go within. I punish myself. So that's the difference between us two.
That's a great relief to me because I was thinking probably even more heartbreaking for me than the abuse taking it myself. If I was unable to help my little sister through that, that would have been way worse for me. So I'm glad Stevie wasn't also adding to the inferno that was already Bobby Lee.
Thank God. Although he did get some of it, but my mom especially, one time she came to my room and it's like 2 a.m. and my brother and I slept in the same room, and she opened her mouth and she had a tooth missing and she was bleeding. And then my mom in Korean goes, help me with the door, right? So my brother and I and my mom barricaded was like 2 in the morning. And when I talk about it now, it's not as impactful because I've done EMDR on this one
You've
incident.
disconnected.
So I can talk about it, but I just remember it just being like, are we going to die? When you wake up abruptly and you see things like that, it sucks.
It's war.
Yeah.
You're,
It sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck the event itself. It's the notion that can happen at any time that fucks you up, I think. Like once mom comes in the room once at 2 a.m. with the tooth out of her mouth, your logical assumption is, when will that happen again? Probably soon. And you'll just never have peace of
It's
mind
a
after that.
possibility
Yes, this
in your
is
mind.
now
Yeah.
an option on planet Earth, is that mom comes in missing some teeth and we
Yeah.
gotta fucking barricade ourselves from the wild boar out in the living room. It creates a permanent sense of unrest forever.
You know what I do, Dax? I just realized this. I not only close my door in my bedroom, I put stuff in front of the door, like a chest and another chair.
I have a big thing with the door closed too, and my wife's like, we have kids down the hall. And I'm like, every man for themselves. They should lock their door. We should lock our door.
Wow.
No, not lock, but I want to at least hear the door get opened.
Yeah. What is that?
Nicotine spray?
Wow.
Get that Copenhagen. Oh, you're using
Pouches.
the little bandits.
Yeah, little bandits.
Yeah, little cute little bandits. Okay, so you get on Mad TV, you make money,
Back then, it was like sketch money.
but you've got like 22 paychecks coming.
That's true.
Were you making pretty good living as a stand-up at that point?
No. But I went from no money to, well, I did this IBM commercial, so I had some money from that.
60 grand on that?
No, I made $350.
Wow.
On a fucking commercial.
Commercial,
That's
Those were the
Those were the days.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
350.
It was a campaign for IBM. Joe Pitka directed it. You know, it was pretty good.
350.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
They don't do that anymore. But back then, you would see people go, I bought a, you know,
Yeah,
I
but-
bought something.
Yeah, I bought an IBM.
Yeah, I get on Mad and getting a weekly paycheck. I have my own apartment now, and I bought a car, so that's cool. But what happened was, you know, I've talked about this so much. Something happened the first couple of weeks of Mad where it really hurt my feelings, and I just instantly relapsed after 13 years.
Wow.
After the insult.
Was it a racial thing?
No, it was
You don't have to share it if you don't want.
no, it was just somebody from the show that had some power who outwardly said that he doesn't think that I'm funny, and it hurt my feelings. No offense to the guy, you know.
No
offense to the guy. Yeah, what?
You're right. You don't think someone's funny, you don't think I'm funny. That is not an assault on anyone. But you're already feeling like you don't belong there. And he confirms your biggest fear.
Well, I had never been on a TV show before.
You're
so it's
also
like,
the first Asian to be on a sketch show.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, when is the door going to open up and mom's coming in?
yeah. I mean, number one, I don't know what a jib camera is. I don't know what a mark is. I don't know how to vocalize in front of a live audience. I don't know anything. So you're learning all that shit. I'm from stand-up, so I've never done a sketch class.
Yeah, you haven't acted.
I've never written a character. I don't know any of the shit. So imagine the pressure. I have to kill this. And then you overhear that somebody there who has some power doesn't think that I'm funny.
Yeah.
That hurt me.
Of
And so
course.
I went out. And then the next 2 years were just painful.
Did you go out drinking?
No, so I couldn't sleep. That night, when I heard that a friend of mine, Paul, had some Valiums, so I took about 2 Valiums, and then I go, get me bottles.
You're back to the little boy in the bedroom on 2 beers.
Exactly. And then I started taking it during the day, and then I'm like, what else? So then Vicodin was the thing, and I was taking like 20 to 30 a day.
It didn't even work. When I tell people I was taking 30 plus a day,
Yeah.
they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, after the first 4, they don't even work.
They don't work.
You take 5 at a time thinking like, well, that might get me back to that initial. It's the worst.
It's the worst.
I tell people this all the time, like, go ahead and be a drug addict, but I'm telling you, skip that one. It's such a fucking
But when
waste.
it first...
You can always get too drunk. Coke works.
Yeah.
Meth works.
Yeah.
Vicodin does not even work.
But
Those
when it
first
did
4
work,
feel
Dax,
good.
it was great.
Yeah, there's a minute it's
There's a
great. and you
feeling where
chase
you was
it.
like, this is an amazing feeling.
At that same time, I was in the Growlings and I was eating quite a bit of Vicodins. And I'd go to this dude's house. Coker was his name, was the
Coker.
dealer.
Yeah.
And he had the bottles that the pharmacy had. And he had dozens of them. I don't know what the count of those bottles was, but 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
And I'd go, oh, I need 100. And he'd eyeball it. It'd be like 150. I mean, that's how free they were in 2002.
I should have known Coker back then.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I had to go through my friend Paul. But anyway, second year in, I would get so sick if I didn't have it. It's a sickness I don't ever want to experience again. It's like your spine is about to snap. Your insides are rattling.
The relapse 4 years ago, it took a month before I felt right.
Yeah. At our age going out,
Oh, God.
Dude.
If I eat a lot of cheese, I feel terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
Like your body is going, we can't do this
No,
anymore.
we're weak.
We're old. We're not doing this.
Do you have any autoimmune issues?
What does that mean?
Autoimmune disease. There's a trillion of them. I happen to have.
I don't think I have
Sorry.
any.
Okay.
Monica, do you drink?
Probably too much.
Are you seeing anybody?
No.
So you're single.
I'm single.
Okay, good.
I'm drinking. Doing it all. Yeah, I do drink. I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but I do like drinking.
And I like going on dates with women when they have a glass of wine. I want somebody to be able to just do what they do.
It gets so habitual, though. I get into phases. I'm sort of entering one where I feel like I'm back in this habit where it's part of the day. You finish work or you're working on work and you have a glass of wine and it just becomes part of it. And after a while, I do think like, when was the last time I didn't?
Well, I could tell you, Bobby, because we speak the same language. So she has a frequency that maybe has a question mark on it, but she doesn't get hammered ever. It's not like she ever will drink 4 glasses of wine.
Sometimes,
Okay.
but rare. It's not like every night it becomes 4 glasses.
In the mornings, you've never done it.
Well, I've had like mimosas.
Yeah, if you're
on
like,
a Sunday with the
you're in
girls.
Maui or whatever. Yeah, sure.
But
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm not like waking up. I want to go. No, I'm not waking up and pouring wine or drinking in the morning by myself.
Right.
I don't have anything like that. And there's a part of me that is like, if I did, that'd be easier. I would know that was an actual problem.
Right.
This is so gray.
Yeah, hers is very innocuous.
I think it's fine.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
nothing.
Bobby, you would love this moment Monica and I had. We were one time driving through this neighborhood, and I went and grabbed a Perrier can out of her cup holder. We're in her car, and I go to take a sip, and she screamed, "No!" And my first thought was, oh, there's alcohol in here. And she had spit in it.
Oh, wow.
But I said, I assumed there was alcohol in it.
Yeah.
And then she said, wouldn't you be so alarmed that I had alcohol in a Perrier thing? And I go, no. I
That's when
observe your
was
life.
watching his children at the time. Like,
I don't
that
see
was
any
my job at the
wreckage. You're
time.
very dependable. You're not moody. I actually wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe that.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't either.
What? You guys, if you're in a car and
Yeah.
someone has a Perrier that they've replaced with alcohol,
It could be a great reason.
I
don't know the
it's something-
circumstances why that Perrier is there. You know what I mean?
You're
It could be
right.
somebody,
Last
somebody
night.
else. Yeah, from last night.
Yes, you want to have one on the way to the bar.
That's
So
already-
you made a vodka Perrier. That's fun.
That's
Keep it in the
fine.
can. The cops won't
Yeah.
know. That doesn't mean you're an alcoholic.
Well,
It means you like to be loose when you're behind the wheel.
if I was around anyone with that, I would think they had a
It's just so funny the evolution of all what happened, which is like I took a sip of her spit, but then it transferred immediately into this crazy debate where she was more troubled that
By
I
you.
wouldn't be troubled that
Yeah.
she had alcohol in there.
Yeah. It was a mess.
That 1 4-minute stretch might summarize our entire existence.
For real.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Now, Dax, why 4 years ago? I've always wanted to ask you, did you go out?
There's a long version and a short version. I'll try to do a medium version. I had broken my arm. I had a prescription for Vicodin, and Kristen handed them out to me. And I decided I would not take those when I traveled back to Detroit because I was going to see my dad who was dying of cancer, and she wouldn't be there to administer the Vicodin. So while I was with my dad and he had all these Percocets, I said, you know what? I have a prescription for Vicodin at home. I'm going to take some of these Percocets.
Makes sense.
That was 8 years into being sober. I had a total meltdown. Kristen ended up coming to Detroit and surprising me.
Did he pass?
2 months later, he did. But again, here's the thing where, like, when I read about you and your dad and your recent relapse, it's like, I would have told you I'm handling that whole experience fine. I'm flying home once a week to deal with his thing. The room's full of AA people. I would tell you that it wasn't really having an impact on me, but I did that thing. And no one will like this. My dad and I did sit in his living room looking out over the lake, and we were both on Percocet, and we're both sober. I don't hate that I had that moment with my dad. I'd never partied with my dad, but we were both just kind of sitting there enjoying the thing. Next day, I'm overwhelmed with guilt and fear. Oh my God, I've relapsed. I'm going to have to reset my day. Kristen comes in. I confess to her what I did. I took this, and I wasn't prescribed that, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, look, it's fine. You're here. I have that prescription. You're not going to do it again, and you keep it moving. And I was like, okay. And I kept it moving. But that was almost like when those owls that the falconer flies, they're only supposed to eat the food from the trainer. If they catch a mouse one time, danger. They're going to want to hunt again.
Yeah.
Because I had that experience and really it was fine, and opiates were never really my thing. Over the years, I break a lot of stuff, And when I would use opiates, I was tricky. So she would administer them, but I also would maybe not take them at night so I could save up. And in the morning, I could take 3 times the dosage. So we're in a very gray area sporadically for several years. I certainly don't think I need to come in and say I need a new date, but I'm also being a little tricky when I have them prescribed.
Okay.
Then, in rapid order, I break my hand, all the bones across it. I get all these pins in it.
Wait, why
I
are
get
you breaking
surgery.
your arms or your hands and everything? What the fuck is going on?
I'm into motorcycle racing, off-road stuff.
Stop doing that.
No.
Okay.
We're going Monday.
All right.
So I get all these pins, and then I get a pretty healthy dose of real good opiates for a while. Almost immediately after I shatter my shoulder, my ribs, my thing on a motorcycle. Now I have multiple surgeries. Now I'm on a lot of opiates. What was very misleading about the opiates compared to the other stuff is like, if I drink, you will know in 1 second. Because second I'm drunk, I'm going to get Coke. And when I get Coke, I do it for 3 days. There's no version where I don't do it for 3 days. There'd be no hiding. In the most conventional sense, it's unmanageable. This was very weird. I'm on opiates. I'm still doing the podcast. I'm still very responsive and present with my family. And I'm going, this is weird. This isn't very unmanageable. This is fine. Other than I know you have to keep upping your dosage because you get used to it so quickly. Like, I'm not dumb. I know that that's an issue.
At this point in your mind, did you know you relapsed?
I think I still had plausible deniability at that point. I wasn't ready to accept that. It was when I started buying them illegally. I was like, okay, now we're definitely doing something.
Yeah.
And then that lasted for a couple months. And then I decided I have to quit. And I started to try to do it on my own. And then I was visibly going through detoxes. And then I copped to the whole thing.
Wow. It's just a sneaky sucker, huh? So when I relapsed after 17 years, I was doing my friend Sam Tripoli's show at the main room. And his show is sponsored by a weed company. And I have 17 years of sobriety.
You already fucked up on Mad TV. You got sober again, and now you have 17 years again.
I did 13 and then 17. For me, it's always I just stopped going to meetings and stopped calling my sponsor. And this is years. Because you think you can do it. I have time, 15, 16 years.
That's
don't even
a
think about
long
this
time.
stuff.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and this guy that owns this weed company goes, hey, we have a package when people do the show. And I go, I'm sober. He's like, oh, cool. But I have a CBD thing. And I go, what's a CBD thing? I don't know what it is.
What does that stand for?
And he goes, this oil has 1% THC in it.
Just to activate the CBD.
Right. But if you just do the dosage, you're not going to feel it. So I drank the whole thing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I got buzzed. So I went back next week because my stomach hurt because you're not supposed to drink.
Of course.
That's all oil. So my stomach really was in pain. So I go, hey, do you have one that's like 50%? It started getting better. And then I started getting 99% THC, 1% CBD. And obviously I had relapsed and it was just that easy.
Did you know at that point when it was 99%?
I think when I drank that whole bottle for that 1%, I knew there's something really strange about this.
I think a lot of people who have relapsed will relate to this. You're distracted at first with the thought of just making sure no one knows. You forget that you didn't ever get sober for anyone else. You got sober because you were miserable. But at some point in sobriety, I started telling myself this thought, well, if no one knows and I'm focused on them, and then again, deciding to ignore like, well, I know, and I can't really live that way. First thought is, can I get away with it? But you ignore the fact that like, you know.
The problem is the 8 years of real sobriety you had, that never goes away. So that's in your mind and your heart. You know now.
Yeah, and I was sad and missed that purity I felt. That first 8 years, there was nothing on my report card that you could have said was tricky. And then I had several years of just that was in the back of my mind. I still only had them when they were prescribed to me. All these other ways I would justify it, but it never had that super clean feeling that those first 8 years had.
There are moments in pure sobriety that is just the most joyous I've ever been.
I know. When you have those days, you're like, why don't I recognize I am so much happier this way?
Yeah, I know. The freedom and also your belief that everything's going to work out. You're not looking into the future and going, what if this happens and this happens? You're just really in the present moment, just like, I'm here. I'm free and I have peace. Those occasions are rare, but I never had them
when
throughout
you
my
go
whole
like,
life.
yeah, when you go like, I don't need anything to feel
know.
okay
Oh,
is
my
the
God.
most miraculous feeling you can have.
It's amazing.
Because you really, for so much of your life, are convinced you can't feel okay without something.
Especially growing up, going through all the experiences. I was never taught these tools and this way of living. There was no internet. I'm just in this violent house
Yeah.
of chaos,
You're trapped.
surviving. Do you want to talk about the movie there?
Yes. We're getting there. By the way, this is about the time I would always start talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Really?
We
Oh,
always
we're a
do. We
long-ass
always do
show.
2 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah. What is your show
1 hour.
generally? 1 hour and you're out.
In and
Yeah.
out.
Congratulations
What
on
do you
your
mean?
show.
Oh, thank you.
On Bad Friends.
Oh, thank you
It's
so much.
enormous.
I
right?
mean, come on, you're the king.
Well, I don't know that I'm the king,
Dax
but
is the king. Give him a
No,
round.
no. I'm genuinely happy for you and Andrew so
Thank you.
much. You guys have a wonderful living off of doing podcasts, right?
Obviously, him and I both had decent careers before it,
Yeah.
but the fan base, when it comes to podcasting, is a completely different kind of relationship you have with them. When I see them in the streets, it's
Do
not
you
weird.
love them?
I love them so much.
I know.
Yes.
I just don't know why you don't do it on video.
We know why.
Yeah, we do know why.
Oh, all right. I'll tell you the assets of it, and then you tell me the cons of it. I'll give you the pros, and let's have this debate
Yeah.
right now.
Let's settle
Here
this
and
once
now.
and for all.
I still believe mine's the right way.
I think yours is the right way. I think Theo's is the right way.
Oh, all right, Dax.
I'm not
Let me do
anti-
my pros first.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't do your cons yet.
Okay.
So number one, you're going to reach a broader audience.
Yes, for sure. And definitely more males. Males love consuming things on YouTube. It's a very male-dominated platform.
I already kind of feel what your cons are by you saying
no.
that.
I
That's
agree
very
with you.
sneaky that you did that just now.
No.
Interesting. Yeah.
No, what's my
how about
word?
How about you not saying anything
No
until I do
Nunshan.
my, do
What
my
is-
pros?
I forgot my word
No
already.
Noonchi.
No Nucci. No Nucci.
I can write it down.
Yeah. All right. So number one, a bigger audience. Number two, it's more money. And number three, it becomes more like a TV show almost. When you have guests, it's like the reoccurring on the sitcom. I already feel like I've lost the thing.
No.
I'm
No.
drowning. I think one of your cons is going to be like, yeah, well, your guests won't be as vulnerable, but you can be vulnerable with the cameras on as well.
You can. I can. We go to AA. We're used to being stared at saying crazy stuff. We've had a bunch of episodes, and they are among our best ones that I am certain wouldn't have happened if they had a camera pointed at them. I think there's a magic. There's two things I would say to push back. A, I love other people's video stuff. I think Theo's show is so fucking great.
Right.
I just watched you on it again this morning. It's so fucking funny. I just adore him. I love that. I think that we wouldn't get the conversations we have if people saw a camera pointed at them. One,
You don't know that yet, though.
totally. I'm guessing at that. Two, I don't like people being distracted by how people look. I don't want them to have to go through hair and makeup. And I don't want people watching going like, oh, yeah, she looks pretty good. Or she doesn't look pretty good. Or, oh, she must have got her eyes done or her chin lip. I want you to be listening to what's in this person's soul and not distracted by evaluating how they look. You're cringing at the notion of that?
What I
Or
want to say to you is you won the argument because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I think I feel far more relaxed this experience because
Yes.
usually I'm so aware of the time. Like, okay, we've got to be at 45. But this time I literally went, I think we did 45 and I looked and we did double that.
yes, because it's a state of flow.
I'm still going to stay on video.
No,
man.
you
There's no way you're
should.
gonna
I
convince
love
me
video.
otherwise.
I love video. And you're doing much more comedy than we
It's
are.
different types of shows, too.
So my third thing I want to say is the singular auditory experience to me is such an antidote to the fucking stimuli that we're overwhelmed with. So like I do it. I listen to this show. I listen to other shows that are only audio. I now can't hear any other thing. I enter this weird kind of sacred space.
I listened to This American Life when I lay in bed.
Great is
Right?
that?
I love Ira. I listen to the Moth Stories podcast, and they're not on video.
Radio Lab.
And I lay in bed and I listen, I close my eyes. And if those two things were on video, I don't think I would see it.
No.
It's also
So now
the
you're-
intimacy.
There's a lot of intimacy and you block out every other thing, or at least for me, when I'm working out, listening to a podcast or I'm hiking, that's actually white noise. And I'm like in another time and space. But when I'm watching stuff, I'm also looking at my kids. I'm looking at the room.
Here's another argument, though. People listen to my podcast, too. I'm just giving them a second option.
Absolutely.
But the guest part.
The guest
that's where
part
the
is a
that-
big-
You're absolutely correct. I think you won it. I think you're better, brighter than me,
Oh,
right?
no.
Literally, you won this conversation. My mind is completely turned around. I came in with this like, I'm going to convince them.
You're going to liberate them.
I'm going to liberate them, and I failed miserably. I think you're right. I want to say congratulations, and this is amazing. So I'm here because I'm promoting a movie I did.
No, but it's actually a very easy segue because the movie that you're here to promote, Sweet Dreams, is about sobriety.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When I was shooting this thing, I didn't know. You know, sometimes you're on a set and you're like, I don't know.
You mean you don't know how it's going to turn out and you don't even know what movie you're in because both happens.
No, I knew what movie I was in. I just think this might not be good.
Oh, sure.
But because of the parameters, because of the low budget, because it's a softball movie as well, I thought the stakes seemed not high enough. You would show up and there was like not a lot of people in the stands. It was more guerrilla filmmaking and I just didn't know the tone really. But I trusted Elijah and his notes and his direction. But last week I saw the movie, and also I've been in some movies. I've never seen myself on the big screen.
You haven't?
Long time ago, I was in Harold and Kumar, and I went to that screening. I remember seeing my big, gigantic Korean head on the screen. I go, look at that bobblehead. I literally had like a visceral negative kind of a experience, and I ran out of the theater.
Yeah, it's never nice.
I go, look at that bobblehead. And so I never did. But this one, I sat through it because it was about sobriety. And I watched it, and I have to say, Dax, number one, I think it's the best movie I've ever seen when it comes to portraying AA meetings.
Okay, because it's always a disaster when they do it. Everyone's so serious and
It's in a
saccharine.
gymnasium. It's always a circle of some
And
sort.
in a gym.
In
I've
a
never
gym.
been to a
Yeah,
meeting
me
in a
neither.
gym.
Never in my
Tens
life.
of thousands of meetings.
I've been
at
to
this point.
churches. I've been to like,
I've been to people's houses.
Yeah, even like schools I've been to. And they're always like, you know, that line in the big book, it says, we are not a glum lot.
Yeah, right.
It's always a glum lot.
Yes, the person's always
Yeah.
delivering the monologue, please release my family from this jail.
Yeah, so this is the first movie where I was watching it, and there was a couple of scenes between Jay Moore's in it. You know, so
Yeah.
Jay plays Johnny's sponsor.
Johnny Knoxville.
There are scenes between them doing a sponsor-sponsee kind of conversation where I went, oh, that felt real.
They got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it done right.
me either.
That's great.
There's a lot of laughter and joy. I've walked out of the meetings going, oh, that was like better than a play or a party or whatever, right? That was fun. And that's never portrayed. And because Lige, the director, is a member of the program,
Yeah.
he outwardly says it.
Well, good. If he
Can
says
I
it, then
say
you-
it?
If he has, yeah.
Okay. So when we were shooting these A meetings, you know, all the background were people from his men's meeting.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that's
Right?
cool.
Oh,
So
that's perfect.
It's perfect, right? So you
Yeah.
have a spattering of actors, but everyone I know from the rooms.
Right. And they're giving the real reactions.
Right. They weren't in a circle. They were kind of disheveled.
Everyone's so fucking unique at AA.
Yeah. And they had guys with a lot of time there, too. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, I think you got the tone really right. And also, you know, obviously there's some things I have problems with. But I think in general, if you want to watch a movie that portrays people getting sober, this is pretty real.
They
It's
did not
heartfelt.
give me a screener. I only got to watch the trailer, but I would love to see that because, of course, every time I see AA on a TV, I'm like, ooh, who would want to go to a
It's
meeting?
Theo
of this?
Vaughn's first movie. It's Chelsea Lynn, who plays Trailer Trash Tammy online. It's her first movie.
Yeah, the cast is wild. Mo Amer, Kate
Yeah.
Upton, Gata, who I
Love him.
fucking love. Did you talk to him at all?
Oh, yeah. I love Gata. Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me about Gata.
He's an anomaly. You know?
He's really bipolar, right? That
really
storyline.
bipolar.
Yeah.
He had drugs and alcohol in his family. His parents both died from it. But Gata is just a kind, warm guy. I mean, I'm not familiar with his music.
Right,
So it's
right.
great. I stick with The Clash and The Velvet Underground. That's pretty much my wheelhouse.
Oh, that's a nice
yeah,
zone
you know,
for you.
sometimes Pixies.
We could share a road trip together with that playlist.
Yeah, you know, Joy Division, whatnot. And, you know,
Smiths,
the Smiths.
New Order a
God,
little
dude, you
bit.
and I. Dude, I'm getting half hard right now. We like the island.
Psychedelic furs a little
If
bit.
we were on an island, dude.
a little modern English. That should have been part of the question. It's
What?
like, you're on an island, it's you and Brad Pitt, but also, is there any music? Because that would make a big difference.
Well, I know that Brad likes the same kind of music I do because I know he's a huge Radiohead fan. Jeff Buckley.
Oh, love Jeff
Yeah.
Buckley.
So I think we would have related on that. Also, one last thing about Brad Pitt. I saw him in
Well,
a
don't
Coen
make it the
Brothers,
last.
the Coen Brothers movie. It
Burn
was
After Reading?
Burn After Reading. And my brother and I both admit it probably is one of the best comedic performances of any actor I've ever
It's
seen.
so
He's so
good.
funny in that fucking movie. Him on the treadmill.
If it were anyone else, I'd be mad.
Why?
Well, like when Timberlake hosted Saturday Night Live, and I was like, oh, come on, this guy's one of the best hosts of all time. He never did sketch comedy. And he's also
I know.
Timberlake can sing like that.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
I know. I feel that.
was in the Growlings. I can't host it.
I know. You see guys that can do it all, and you just kind of go, I can't do nothing.
I've been thinking that a lot about Walton Goggins.
Who's
you
that?
know Walton Goggins. Did you watch Vice Principals or Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, I love Righteous.
So he's Uncle Baby Billy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But he's also the best dramatic actor on planet Earth. I'm watching something right now where he's like a fucking noseless cowboy, and I'm like, how can this guy be
Fallout?
Apex? Yes.
I love the game.
Wait till you see the fucking show.
Do you play the game?
No, never played it. Didn't even know it was a game when I was watching it.
How have you not played the game?
I don't play any
How have you
game.
not played the fucking game?
I know. Now I want to because the show's so good.
It's one of the greatest games, RPGs of all time. Rob, have you played it? Have you played it?
No.
You guys are fucking idiots.
What a waste of your
I know. Why'd you
breath
come
to
here?
ask Monica. if
No,
she
let-
played it.
I know.
So Bethesda, who makes role-playing games.
Yeah, they're one of the producers.
Yeah, so they did Elder Scrolls, which is like Skyrim and Oblivion, the
You
series of
love
games.
games, I'm finding out. That wasn't even one of my questions.
I'm a part of the human race.
Yeah.
It's a part of pop culture.
It's great. Yeah, you're just plugged in.
So Jordan Peele, one time years ago, when we were broke, we were at a GameStop, and he goes, yo, man, you got to play Morrowind, which is an Elder Scroll. And ever since he recommended it, I've been into Bethesda. But my point is that Fallout, you don't have a PlayStation.
Don't have any system, no.
Why are you getting so nervous right now? You're acting weird.
Well, we were on such a good run there
No,
with
we're not
psychedelic
good now.
furs and modern
I just get
English.
offended by it.
Yeah, I understand.
So how many episodes are you in?
I have 15 minutes left of the finale. We interviewed Jonah Nolan, and so
Oh
I got
my
the
God.
screeners. I know.
When that show was in pre-production, I called my agent and I go, I don't care. I'll be background. Get me on the show. And I couldn't get anything.
They should use you because there's really fun little. Just last night, Fred Armisen pops up for just a scene.
What does he know about Fallout, that piece of shit? You don't know shit about Fallout, that piece of shit. So anyway, hey, Fallout producers, I'll be background. I don't care. I'll do anything. I never get to do cool shit. But anyway, let's just move on. So let me ask you something about Fallout.
Yeah.
So how much of the show is in vault life?
Oh, great question. I would say 30% of it.
Okay, so second question. Is there 1950s music in it?
Yes. So one of the coolest things is the aesthetic of it is retro futuristic.
That's what the game is.
It is awesome. All the TV sets are from the
Is
50s.
there
They
a
drive
blonde
nuclear.
bobblehead in it?
Is there a blonde?
Is there like posters with a guy in a vault suit, a cartoon drawing, and he has blonde hair or whatever?
That detail may have escaped me.
Is
If
the
I had
vault
seen-
door a circle?
Yes, it's a circle, but then it also has like a sprocket wood.
Yeah, sprocket
so
wood.
it can roll
Oh, fuck.
on the track.
Are there ghouls in it?
Walton
no,
Goggins.
no.
Yeah.
He's a ghoul.
He's the
I'm gonna
ghoul.
watch. I'm gonna watch it.
You're gonna flip.
What are you talking about Walt for again?
We were talking about people that were really good at both things, and Brad was really
You
funny.
know what you're good at?
What?
You're a deceiver.
That's a weird compliment.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a great
I'll
deceiver.
tell you why you're a deceiver. dude.
Okay.
In my mind, I'm like, oh well, I can talk about the movie and I'll get the out of here, right?
Oh.
But no. That's
That's
not
not
what
how I
Dax Shepard
play.
did. No.
No.
You're very good at going, let's go this way
Sure.
and that way. So all of a sudden, I'm talking about something that has nothing to do with the movie, but I'm not going to play your games anymore.
Nor should you.
You're a deceiver, and I'm not going
Yes.
to do this, all right?
Yeah, no, we're here to talk about Sweet Dreams.
Yeah,
In
go back to
theaters,
Sweet Dreams.
4/12/24, and on VOD 4/16.
Yeah.
I was about to read that cast. We got kind of interrupted, but Johnny Knoxville's in it. How'd you get on with PJ? Because I have a funny story. When I interviewed him, I told the story. I just felt like he never liked me. I would try to be friendly to him many times, and I think maybe he's too cool for me.
Dax, I want to say something. I do the same thing.
Okay, good.
I have these stories in my head,
Yes.
right? That a certain actor or somebody in the business, or even Netflix, like I do this thing where Netflix hates me.
exactly.
The institution.
Yeah,
The institution of it, right?
Yeah,
when
yes,
in reality, they don't even think about me. And it's like that actor, and then you meet the guy, and they're like, I've always loved you. And I spent 3 years of my life thinking about them every day. Something happened yesterday morning. So last week, there's a comic, I don't want to say his name. I love him now. But we grew up together in comedy. And we were always kind of rivals in a weird way. And then when my podcast started blowing up a little bit, I started talking a little shit. And so anyway, I hadn't seen this guy in 15 years. And he was at the comedy store, talented guy. And I saw him and I went, hey. And I hugged him. And I reached my hand out to his wife. And I go, hi, so-and-so.
Hi, Brenda.
Right? Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Right? Hi, Brenda.
Your first time ever saying the name Brenda.
And she didn't shake my hand.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, good for her.
So in my head,
She's
I'm like,
protective of her
she's
man.
protective of her man.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, because I'm trying to really be in sobriety and I want to make amends and make it right, I put my hand back, I hugged him, and I walked away. And I went into shame.
Yes, of course.
So then I wrote him a message the next day, and I go, over the years, I might have said some things I regret. I'm so sorry. If you want to meet for coffee, I'm willing to do that. And so he goes, I'm fine, but thanks, right? Then yesterday morning, I get a DM from his wife, and she
Brenda.
goes, Brenda, and she goes, I didn't do that.
Oh.
She goes, I didn't
She
see your
didn't even
hand.
know.
She goes, I didn't even see your hand.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even have made amends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I made amends for no reason.
Well,
You probably
I
felt
feel so much
better.
better.
Yeah.
I feel
You
so
made
much
it for
better.
you
Yeah, yeah.
anyways.
But I do that to myself where I perceive something, then I believe it to be completely true. Fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
And you and I share the same thing, I believe.
Coming in here, I immediately assume like we've had limited interactions,
Yeah.
but I feel like I've always really enjoyed anytime I've seen you.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
mean-
have good feelings about me or did you have any story about me? Be honest, Bobby.
So, yeah, I thought maybe that you didn't like me.
What?
Yeah, in my head.
Out of nothing?
No,
though?
I'll tell you why.
Tell me why. Because I should have had you on earlier.
No, that's not what it is. No,
Oh,
that's not
that's what I just thought.
No, that's
Yeah, you
not
thought
what
that.
it is.
Okay.
That to me, I don't know why you even bringing this up. It's weird. But let's be.
Oh,
let's.
this is great.
Yeah.
All right, it is great.
I
Yeah.
love that.
All right, getting me on earlier. I know the level of guests you get. You don't have a lot of comics. You get a lot of huge actors. I get it, man. Me and Andrew, we've always talked very highly, like, wow, he's killing it. So
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time, I know it's in my head. By now talking to you
I can't wait to hear it.
for the last hour and a half. So I was on a show called Animal Practice. It was a sitcom. And you were on a show that was in the same area. I know this because I think you knew the Russo brothers.
At Universal or at Warner
It was
Bros?
at Paramount.
Well, this is what's great is I've never worked on Paramount, but go ahead.
But you were a guest star or something because Community was there. Did you ever guest star in Community?
I didn't.
You were there though.
Okay, great. I
know
was
it
on the
you.
lot.
I know it was you.
I have shot commercials and stuff there. So I could
Okay,
have
so
been,
anyway, you were behind the monitors. I don't know why you were there, but you were standing right behind me, right?
All right.
And I remember turning, I go, oh my God, that's Dax Shepard. I know you. It wasn't Joe McHale.
Right.
It was Dax Shepard,
Okay.
right?
Can I ask really quick how many years ago this was?
It must have been 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very long
Way
time.
back.
I've
All
held
right.
this resentment for 15
Oh
years.
my God.
Good.
I love this.
Right?
Me too.
And I remember turning around going, hey, Dax, and you didn't respond to me. Like you were looking at the monitors, I guess, watching the scene or something. And in my head, I was like, oh, he doesn't like me.
Oh, man.
I carried that with me this whole time.
Listen to me. I'm so sorry that happened.
You didn't do anything.
But hold on. I don't have any memory of that. I have other memories of genuinely adoring you. And we have mutual friends. And then Rob always, I'm not even clear how you and Rob know
I
each other
started
so
this
well.
career.
Wow.
There would be no Rob without me, right? And you know this to be true, fuckface.
Yeah, that's
no,
right.
he is a big Bobby Lee fan. Talks about you all the time.
Can
and
I tell
adores
you how I made him?
Yes.
Will you admit to it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing a live stand-up show, and I had Chris Witowski. I did his.
You were doing his show.
I did his show. I did Chris Witowski's show. And then you came to one of my shows, and you said, can I take photographs of my live? And Rosenbaum was on my show. So you became friends with Rosie. And then next thing I know, you're producing podcasts. The next thing I know, oh, you're Dax's guy, right?
Yeah.
And then Rachel Bilson and all these fucking things, right? And I'm like, I fucking did that.
You
Anyway,
did it by having
good
a
job.
show that he came to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. Rob, I already gave you compliments, and you have a skill set, and I admire
No, you know what the greatest thing about, because so I know that that's the beginning of he and Rosenbaum. That he approached Rosenbaum was like, you should have a website and you should have this. Here's a self-starter in a way that I respect so much, which is like, I'm humble. Let me build this website for you. Let me take pictures. You don't have anyone taking fun pictures of you. Offering a service, asking for nothing. It leads to a podcast with Rosenbaum. I go to Rosenbaum's podcast. We both know Rosenbaum. He can't make cereal in the morning. I'm like, how's this thing run so well? Oh, it's got to be that guy. And then I say to Rosie, could I use him as well?
Yeah.
And now we're here. His version of getting to here, I love.
What's your version?
That's my version. I give a lot of credit to you.
It's so
That's
crazy.
nice, Rob.
It's crazy that you say that because obviously Dax had no idea. You're now a deceiver. And now you're doing shadow play, and I don't like it. Okay?
Most recently, Bobby, back to your video being great. I watch all these clips on Theo's clips.
Uh-huh.
I see you on all these video podcasts, and 100% of the time, I'm like, Bobby Lee is so fucking funny and so open and so pleasant and can play like no one can play. You just bounce into all these different little ecosystems, and every time you deliver, And I just literally look at you with great affinity.
Can you hear it? The
What I
compliments.
just said.
Okay, Monica, I'm going to say this, and
Really?
I'm going to make a statement right now and let it forever be true. I know from now on, for the rest of my life, that you guys are all friends, not even acquaintances anymore. We shoot the shit for real,
Share.
because you and I never had deep conversations.
We didn't get to do this ever.
We never did this.
Yeah.
But I feel like from now on in life, every time I see Dax anywhere, there's going to be pure love.
Always.
But I did not feel that yesterday.
Okay. Oh, man.
Isn't
I
it
wanna be
funny?
Also,
honest
wouldn't
with
you
you.
a little bit assume, like, I love everyone that's sober? You got to be a real piece of shit for me to not feel a bond with someone. Like, so soon as I knew, too, that we were the same, I'm always rooting for you, and I feel an immediate kinship with you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I've just told you that. I already told you that. Okay. I had it wrong, but it's so funny that it's always the case. Whatever going on in this fucking sick mind of mine, there are narratives and storylines that aren't even true that I believe, and it's insane.
We must have gotten it right at some point where we got so confident in these stories we tell, right? I mean, there had to be some moment of proof that we were right.
Are they true? Because my narrative was Netflix doesn't like me because I would audition for a show and not get it. But it's like, that's acting life.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
But then I make the storyline that they hate me.
Yeah.
It's putting yourself at the center of things that you're not necessarily at the center of.
Right.
One of the favorite things I've learned in AA, which is self-pity is the same level of self-obsession as self-aggrandizement. The universe doesn't care about you one way or another. It doesn't care enough about you to harm you and conspire against you, and you're not hot shit and it's rewarding you. You're the same piece of shit of everyone else, and no one's even fucking thinking about you.
It's such an interesting thing.
We all do it, though.
You do it too, Monica?
Oh, yeah. Everyone does it. There's different levels of it.
Yes, I think it's a human thing.
But I've gotten trouble by believing in these narratives because then all of a sudden I start wars with people that aren't even real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to police yourself on that.
I've done that on podcasts where I've started wars with people and then they've come onto my podcast and goes, whoa, dude, I've always like, what the fuck is going on here? I'll go, oh,
Yeah.
right, it's not good. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
So it's a softball movie. It's basically a movie about a bunch of guys in a halfway house, and they also happen to play on a softball team. Knoxville plays the lead. He plays a guy named Morris, and he's hit a bottom. He goes to this halfway house. He goes through all the things that people do early days in sobriety, vomiting, not wanting to be there, rebelling, all that kind
Feeling
of stuff.
unique.
Right. And obviously me, Theo, and Dumbfounded, and all these people live with him at this halfway house, and he gets it. He has sort of an awakening. He gets a sponsor, starts doing it, and then
Doing
we
the
also
work.
happen to play softball. It's this cute, small movie that I think has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm really excited to see the AA stuff. What was your softball skill before you started? Because I had to play softball in the movie, and I couldn't sleep the night before.
What do you
Because
mean?
I had never played it in my whole life. The first time I'm ever going to be playing baseball is going to be on camera.
No one's thinking in their head like, oh, we need an athlete. Let's get Bobby in the movie, right? You know, oh, should we get a body double? In fact, I did a movie with Rosenbaum called Kickin' in Old School, and I danced so bad that they had to get me a body double.
But you were in a breakdancing team in high school.
Yeah, I
what
wasn't
happened?
good.
Oh, okay.
I was in Jabberwockies.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did this breakdancing movie, and they got a Filipino girl.
Oh, boy.
So if you watch that movie, all the body shots are a woman doing it. Anyway,
wow.
so I'm not good at it, but I have to be honest. I think that Johnny's great at softball. He's athletic.
Yes, big time. I think he was super into baseball as a kid as
Yeah,
well.
Gata, a guy named Brian Van Holt was great. I think that I was mid-level, but there were some guys that were terrible.
Did you love being around Jay Moore? Because he was one of my favorites when I first moved to LA.
I want to say something about him right now.
But it would be starting another war?
No, it's a great thing.
Okay, good.
We've seen people transform in this business, especially. He's done such a 180 turnaround in his life. Whenever I see him, I want to cry. He's such a great example of somebody that's really doing the deal and really turned his life around. And I really love that guy so fucking much.
I like him for such a specific reason. I met him a couple times when I had just moved to LA, and he happened to be neighbors with another dude, and he was so friendly, so that was great. But I saw one of his bits. I've had this moment a few times with performers. He tells this story about being a little kid and sucking his neighbor's dick, and his neighbor sucking his dick.
Yeah.
And then 35 years later, getting pulled over by him, and he was a state trooper. And they're on the side of the road, and he was like acting really tough with them to give him a ticket. And he's like, I just want to go like, hey, get real. We sucked each other's dicks when we were 10
The
years
same
old.
thing happened to me.
Same thing.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I sucked somebody's dick. I don't don't like the flavor.
Sure.
It's not my thing.
Right.
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
wasn't for you.
Also wasn't shamed about it. Like, I've never had a problem with sexuality in that way. Maybe because I was molested. I don't know. So this guy, I sucked his dick in high school. Then I didn't see him for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then I was close to his family, so his mom had died. And I went to the funeral, and I hadn't seen him since I sucked his dick.
Wow.
All you can think about.
Right? So now he's standing next to his mom's
He's
casket.
probably the last person he wants to see at his mom's funeral.
I know.
Yeah.
In fact, in my mind, I was like, I don't think I should do the condolence thing and go around and look at the casket.
Right.
I could just sit down, right? Like an idiot, I stayed. And then I see him standing. He's distraught, obviously. I'm walking by the casket. I look at, I don't know what to do. So I kind of give him a hug, but he kind of,
He gets
he
nervous.
shoulder shoves my, he goes, good to see you, dude. And he does this.
She's super macho.
Yeah, and I went back and I went, oh yeah, I should have just sat down. Like, what do you say?
What do you say?
Yeah, there's nothing to say. But have you ever had an experience like that where you sucked that guy off or no? When you're younger?
Not by choice.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. What I love about you telling the story and what I loved about Jay Moore telling the story, because he was at peak Jay Moore-ness. That's such a fucking brave thing to do. So many people have done that, and no one's ever going to say anything. Anytime a dude, they were a little, what do they call them? Not lampposts, but like markers. I went, oh, wow, someone can be honest and vulnerable and real and still walk tall and not give a fuck. It's like oxygen.
I want to say something. I've never said this before.
Okay.
This is so long, by the way, but I had to add another point. You're very good what you do. It's very good what you do. I'm engaged still, all right? So I want to say that, you know how sometimes kids become racist because their parents are racist?
Or they've literally never met that other race.
Literally that. But I just remember my dad as a young kid, he said, if you're gay, I kill you. I kill everybody. But ever since I was a little kid, I just thought, what's the problem with, you know what I mean? So I just don't know how I learned that.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, how did I learn? I was okay with all races. I was okay with sexuality and stuff.
Right.
And no one taught me that. So are you born with those values?
No.
What happened?
I think this is the great gift of having a really traumatic life is you see other people suffering and you know what it feels like and you have built-in empathy for a lot of people. And it's the gift of all gifts. It's worth the trauma.
I hate authority. Like when I see Russia invading Ukraine, I just get so overly angry because of my upbringing.
Bullying.
Yeah. I'm such an underdog. And so I think you're right. I'm just there for the underdog.
You're looking at a gay dude and you're like, oof, man. I know the roughness of that. I don't know that version of it, but
Yeah.
I know.
Like that guy has an uphill battle like I do.
Any movie or a documentary as a kid about the civil rights movement, all right? I was always on the side of the whites. No, I was always on the side of the whites. No, I was always on the side of the black human experience in
Yes.
America. I used to get so angry back when like black people would be at a diner counter trying to eat and people spitting on them. Or like a little girl going to school, integrated school for the first time and have protesters go,
Yeah, adult men.
adult men. I was like, I want to kill everybody.
I know.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so watch Sweet Dreams. I'm going to go. That's what I have to say. Is I'm going to go. Check me out on Bad Friends and TigerBelly. I have 2 podcasts. Thank you for having me.
Oh, such a delight. I knew you would be great. You know, you have a show, and there are days where you're lucky and someone's coming in, like Jake Johnson's coming in, and I go, oh, I just have to sit down, and we're going to have a great episode. And I had that very feeling about you.
Thank you.
I adore you.
I love
Everybody go see Sweet Dreams, or if you missed that window, please see it at home, and listen to TigerBelly, and, of course, Bad Friends. Bobby Lee, be well.
Stay tuned for the fact check. It's where the party's at.
Monica. Hi. If you're just joining us and you're just waking up, do you think anyone starts at the fact check and then goes back into the main episode? I doubt it.
I doubt it. It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't. It'd be illogical. But, you know, people are illogical. And they're exciting, and they're novel, and they're unique.
And they're crazy.
They're crazy. Now, I have heard people say they skipped the episode entirely and just went straight to the fact check. I've read that in the comments.
But then they don't go back.
Right.
I see.
Yeah. Or maybe that's happened, but they didn't report it to me.
Report it if that happens, guys.
Oh, you know what I was relieved to see in the comments?
What?
Other people thought that about connections. We're not alone.
Of course. I mean, of course, our sweet armchairs would think that.
Yeah, but I thought you were maybe on the fence about that when we talked about it last, that perhaps they was
thought
so
Ace?
narcissistic. Yes, they thought that whole addition of the puzzle was a winky.
That's cool.
Winky wink. This just made me think of something because I said winky and it made me think of Twinkies.
Okay.
And I'm writing about my deep hostile envy when I was in elementary school. I had to pack a lunch, as you know, and I wanted hot lunch so bad. But then beyond that, I had a brown, like a Soviet era brown paper sack.
Yeah.
And then inside was either 2 cheese sandwiches or 2 bologna sandwiches. And then a little half serving of store brand plain potato chips.
Lay's?
Kroger brand.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. Whatever. Big K chips or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And I would watch kids open up their metal lunchbox.
Sure.
And I'd watch them removing like the Kraft cheese and crackers prepackaged
The spread.
thing, a pair of Twinkies, a fruit roll up, Pop Tarts,
Dunkaroos.
tons of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then a dessert. And then the drink was a high C or a, whatever the other option was.
Capri
Sun.
Sun. Yeah.
Okay, so be honest. What was your lunch
Situation?
like? Yeah, what did you have in there?
My lunch was also brought.
Yeah.
But because we've talked about this, I think it's regional, it's school dependent.
Yeah, you didn't want to buy.
I did not want to buy,
Yeah.
and I wanted the paper bag.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because like a lunchbox is
Too kiddie.
It's too over the top.
Childish.
Early on, I remember one time I had a thermos with like SpaghettiOs in it or something.
Ooh, warm SpaghettiOs?
Yeah, but I think I was embarrassed
Okay.
by that. So eventually it was a
Thanks for reminding me of that. I forgot of that hack. The kids had in thermoses like Chef Boyardee products
Exactly.
or Franco-American. Franco-American was SpaghettiOs.
Oh,
Was the name of
really?
the brand, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You had 2 options in the can.
I thought it was
pasta.
Chef Boyardee.
There was Chef Boyardee, which was ravioli.
Yeah,
and so
I
your
remember
popular
that.
raviolis. But specifically,
SpaghettiOs.
SpaghettiOs, I believe, is Franco-American. Or Franco-America. Rob?
Campbell's.
Campbell's.
Campbell's SpaghettiOs is on the can. There is
What about
spaghetti and
Franco?
meatballs with Franco-American.
Yeah, that shit was good.
Oh.
Beef ravioli.
Yeah, they made a great beef.
I mean,
Not
smaller.
as good as Chef Boyardee.
They had a SpaghettiOs. Maybe this was
It does say
generational.
Before it was acquired, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe, because it does SpaghettiOs copyright original as Campbell's Soup Company.
Okay, but Franco-American, their raviolis were much smaller. So the Chef Boyardees were big, and then they came out with Chef Boyardee minis.
Mini. By the time I came around, it was all about the minis.
Yeah, but they were biting on Franco-American, America.
Yeah, there's cans of that.
Yeah,
With
those-
SpaghettiOs.
Those were good, man. Their meat, whatever that meat really was delicious.
It was good. I ate a lot of it.
Yeah,
I ate a
so
lot
good.
of ravioli.
Get home from school, get the can opener out,
Yeah.
boom, in the microwave, 1 minute. I fucking
I kind of want it. Like,
I do
what?
too.
What? What's?
we're naughty.
I know.
Okay, so what did you have?
I had
All that
Capri Sun and I had all the junk.
You did.
Yeah,
all
I
the
did.
prepackaged
I
fun
did.
stuff.
Yeah.
And would you horse trade? Because so first would just be my deep envy of what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't participate in what became the classroom bazaar of trading the different things. So some kid would have the Kraft cheese and crackers. He'd have his eye on someone's Pop-Tart.
Sure.
And they'd start horse trading. And everyone they had a lot to barter with. And I was like, does
Yeah.
anyone want a bologna sandwich or some store brand chips?
Did you present it like that?
No. No, and I'm about to write about this specific part. That's what I'm writing next is like, what a disgusting bear I was. Like I would virtually beg for food. I would like be seeing who's not finishing what, and I would panhandle. I would go from desk to desk like, are you gonna eat? I mean, what a loser.
Well,
I would ask like, are you gonna
that's
eat
not
that
a
second
loser.
Pop-Tart? Yeah, and I would just scavenge. Like a
But
fucking
even
raccoon.
though, okay, so remember, you had food. It just wasn't fun food.
It was not fun at all.
And people had fun food.
And I was a big boy. I wanted more. I'd eat
you
those
always
2
wanted
sandwiches
more.
and those chips, and then I was like, "What else we got? Who's gonna throw what away?" But it also so Aaron was I wasn't privy to it because we went to different elementary schools. But what we bonded over at one point is we had both worked at Big Boys. Now Elias Brothers Big Boy, not Bob's.
And not Dolly's.
Oh, not Fat Dolly, our new mascot. And we were both busboys there
Right.
when I was 12, and I think he did when he was 14. And it was a progression. At first, I would be clearing the table, and if someone had ordered a Slim Jim, which is cut neatly in half, and they had eaten one half but hadn't touched the other half, I would eat that half when I got into the kitchen. I would clear the table.
Sure.
And then I would eat the remaining half
it's disgusting,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where it started, and it, like all things, slippery slope. By the end of my time there, I would take a bite directly out of a big boy
someone's
with
bite.
bite marks.
Ew.
And I felt such shame and embarrassment about that. And then one day, Aaron and I just started chatting about our experience at Big Boy. And I'm like, did you ever eat the food off of the plates? And he's like, yeah. And then he had the same trajectory. And by the end, you're eating like half-eaten fries. You just don't give a fuck. You get over that, and you just want that yummy food, and it's free.
And now I want you to be really honest, because my reaction of saying ew is like really mean. If you weren't getting enough food, but were you getting enough food? It was just gross and boring and stupid food.
No, what it was is they gave us a half-price menu as an employee there, not even free.
Right.
And we were making, both of us, this was minimum wage when you were a minor and you had the card signed, $2.35 an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So I would go in there and I'd work for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I would make $8, and then that's $1.20. So $9.20.
Right.
And a Big Boy combination at that time was probably like $8. I could have got it for $4. That would have been half the day's wages.
I guess, but I mean more like at home. Like,
yes, no, I was, my mother
your mom
fed me.
fed you. Yeah, I just want to
She fed
be.
me. I was envious of variety
Exactly.
and name brand stuff.
But Aaron, was he getting fed?
Yeah, and there's a lot of food. It was just government food.
Okay.
But he and I
but
used to
had enough.
murder that government food. We would like go through a block of that cheese in no time. And they could get Dinty Moore a lot. We used to eat a lot of Dinty Moore beef stew
What's
at his
that?
house. It's a canned beef stew. It's delicious.
Not Chef Boyardee or Frank Ocean, whatever you said.
Yeah, Franklin
I mean,
Elementary.
It's free stuff. We would do that at the movie theater where, like, someone would leave popcorn and you just
Yeah.
pour the top layer off and then you got a bag of
Sure.
popcorn.
And did you find that you slowly eroded
yeah.
your boundaries? Yes.
So originally it was you find the free refill thing, then dump it out, get the free refill.
Right.
And then it was just
Fill it up.
There it is. I'm not going to the concession line.
yes. It's really funny. I was almost wish that all that was documented, like someone's progress in working with food.
Yeah. I actually think I'd feel the opposite. Like, the more you work there, the more disgusted you are by
You
the
would
food
think that.
there.
You would
Yeah.
think that. But I also worked at CPK, and I never tired of that food. I
Wow.
wanted it more the day I quit than I did when I started.
That's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an addictive food. It's
Well, sure.
sure.
Allegedly.
What was your prized possession in your lunch? What was the thing that you like? And did you guys do any trading? I didn't let you answer.
I don't remember. I'm sure we did, but I don't remember. It doesn't stick out as a big memory.
I imagine you would have been trying to get cookies.
Yeah, but
'Cause
I
you're
also
a cookie boy.
I'm a cookie monster. Respect my label, please.
Few armchairs asked for shirts that say "Cookie Boy."
But I had cookies. Like, it wasn't. I didn't have to trade. I think. I don't know how it happened. I don't think I went to the grocery store
Your
with
mom
my
just-
mom. She just got. And to be fair, she got it all because it's easy. It's so much easier to just grab a whole bunch of shit and throw it in a bag.
Prepackaged.
Pre-packaged, pre-made.
Yeah.
She didn't have time to make the stuff, the bologna sandwiches. Although she did eventually, she started making my lunch again.
Oh.
She stopped for a long time. And that was up to me. And then she picked it back up, I think because she didn't think I was eating well.
Okay, or she missed it.
Or she missed it, maybe.
Yeah. She's a working woman. She had the guilt. She might have been in a phase,
Maybe.
feeling bad.
This is recently she's making you lunch again?
No, she
She
does
definitely
make
makes
me
you
lunch.
lunch when you're home.
But no.
I've been on many Zoom calls with you, and I watch her enter with a big
a sandwich.
Yes,
I'll probably have a sandwich tomorrow
big plate of sandwiches.
when I get home. Yeah, I'm taking a red eye tonight. I'm not looking forward to the flight at all.
Yeah, red eyes are never fun
Really like
Unless-
to fast forward.
unless it's a proper 10-hour flight. Then
Exactly.
it's a dream because you missed the whole thing.
Yes, this is
No,
Rough.
this is like a 4-hour flight, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
4 and change, 4.5, 4.25.
Yeah.
And also, I imagine too, what would happen is you would be at school, you'd see a student who had something fun, and you'd come home and you'd tell mom, "Oh, I want snack wells."
Maybe.
Must have been
I don't have any memories of
Food scarcity.
I guess. Yeah, I guess it's food scarcity. I mean, I remember, obviously I did because I stole that girl's cookies. So that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I had goldfish. I love goldfish. Sometimes I remember having Cheetos because I remember playing the game where like you try not to get any orange on your fingers while you eat them.
Good luck.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible game.
Unless, not to bring it back to Aaron, but he in his truck kept gloves.
Yes, you did. You
His
did say
flaming hot
that.
Cheeto habit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I have. But Dunkaroos were huge.
And again, remind me what Dunkaroos are.
Dunkaroos was kind of like, the cheese spread and the crackers, but instead it was small, tiny cookies, and then frosting.
Oh.
And you dipped the tiny cookies in the frosting and you ate it. But I did choke on it.
Oh.
And like bad.
Oh, in class.
No, just thank God.
Around
oh
the
my
house. Oh.
If that had happened in school,
Yeah.
where someone had to like Heimlich me,
Yeah.
that's the end. You would
You'd have to
never
go to
have met
different
me. I would have
school.
died.
Yeah. I do think it's a weird form of torture, though, to watch kids have so much fun food around you every single day
I'm sure it
at
is.
lunch.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm a victim, and don't feel bad for me, but I will say it's a bit torturous to tear open that sack and watch everyone unload their grocery cart, basically.
Yeah.
And they look so happy, too. They're laughing. Oh, did you get, the horse
No
trading?
one's saying that. I think that's like you
That's where I failed.
projected that everyone was talking about their food and they're
How
not.
much fun they were having. Oh, I've never tried these. Oh my God, this is new. Mom.
Oh. Do you think people were
my-
like, Dax cannot stop talking about that?
Oh, I must have been. I mean, they must have talked about it. Like he's a beggar. Like it's like having a dog in the classroom. I mean, it's humiliating when I think about how I used to approach people's desks to see if I
You
could get
did?
some. Yes, daily. It was agonizing. I was watching. There's too much. They didn't even finish it all. There's way too much fun stuff. And they like throw in the towel at some point. And I'm like, guys, there's no way you're getting. Don't throw that away.
Yeah.
I haven't had any of those crackers
Okay,
yet.
this is a
Dunkarees. Come in. Oh,
Hello.
hello. Hi, Linkerbell.
I made this for you.
What?
This is gorgeous.
There are some mistakes.
No, there are no mistakes. It's beautiful.
Well, don't we call mistakes wabi sabi?
Yeah, part of what makes it unique. But this is gorgeous. Is it a vase?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a small commode.
Oh my gosh.
If she had an emergency in her car, would you be offended if she pootied in it?
I would never. I would never pootie in this.
It's easy to clean out, so you know. But I would prefer if you didn't tell me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
What you don't know can't hurt you.
Dax,
Oh, we got another
Well,
visitor. Who's here now?
This is just
This is the-
beautiful.
Oh, wow. Oh my
God, I'm
God.
getting
This is like
showered.
present hour.
It's because you have hair like a bird.
Oh my goodness.
Hair
what?
like a mermaid or a tail like a mermaid? Pull the microphone close to you because I think people should hear it. You got a new character. This is Delta's sick.
These are both so beautiful. I'm so lucky.
But it's a mermaid, and then the mermaid hair is attached to the mermaid, so and then that's the mermaid tail, and then the mermaid hair is also attached to
It's-
the mermaid tail.
Thank
Do you need
you.
a tissue already? You've been here for 5 seconds here. I'll give you a tissue.
Delta's been very sick.
Very, very sick. Her biggest illness.
Lincoln has managed
how
to
have you
avoid-
avoided
yeah, exactly.
getting this plague that she seems
I
to
have not licked her tongue yet.
yet? But certainly you've been in close enough proximity, and I've smooched her a bunch of times. And
Yeah, I'm cool though. I don't have any symptoms. I did push-ups today at PE.
Oh,
You did?
Yeah,
The kind on your toes or your knees? How many did you do?
me.
Yeah.
that's
Hey, Delta, we're trying to have a conversation over here.
Yeah, can you keep it down? This is her at the middle of the night. Like I can hear. I tried to sleep with her because we sleep with our mom on the weekends, and I tried to sleep with her, and she just snotted, and it sounded like she had lost it. Like there was no air in her body because it was just
Yeah.
Were you scared?
kind of.
Yeah.
We've all were at numerous times in the last week have been worried while sleeping next to Delta that she has
That she's gonna-
ceased
that
existing
she's
and
gonna
stopped
pass.
breathing.
Yeah, I have that bad scary breathing in the night.
Sad.
That's scary.
And then coupled with indiscriminate bouts of crying while you're asleep too. Talk a little more into the microphone. Do you have a memory of crying during the night in these last?
I never remember crying in the night. Oh, I need the headphones.
Yeah, you got
I
it.
never remember crying in the night, but I do cry in the night a lot. And then sometimes I go into the hallway, and I used to go into the hallway. I used to sit down in the middle of the night, and I was asleep, and I was sleepwalking, and then I just cry. And then, can I have my third tissue?
Yes.
Do you want the box?
No, she can't be trusted with the box.
Okay.
That was a good
get
one.
some, yeah.
Waterfall. I have such a raw noise.
Yeah, it's very. That's a great description.
Raw.
It's raw.
Yeah, that's true.
Raw with talent.
Yeah.
I said I have a raw nose, but okay.
Oh, you said you had a raw nose.
Oh. It's okay. We'll pretend you.
We'll use AI
said
to
it right.
fix.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can I publicly commend you, Lincoln, for having been so patient the whole week that Delta's been
thank you.
sick, because she's gotten a lot of our attention.
She's gotten 0 attention these past weeks.
Yeah, and she's also been incredibly helpful to you. She's been bringing you things. And,
She gave me a bath one morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
And,
sweet.
and she let me use all of her mochis.
Oh, that's a
They're little
big.
squishies. Yeah. I love their emojis.
You guys are very nice to each other. I really like it.
when it counts. which
When
I
it-
like.
when
It was
matters,
a
of
test.
course.
It was a very because there was 2 conflicting thoughts, like be kind
honest.
to her and
And maybe murder her.
yes, and
Yeah.
murder her, or like just get her high on, I don't know, Mucinex so she passes out.
Sure.
So then you guys are like with me.
Yeah, that's honest and true. That's most people struggle with these
Yeah,
thoughts.
but then I just realized that the only way to get through this and to look back and have no regrets is to be kind to her. So I was just like her little assistant, and I asked like her TA if she could have like a homework packet, and I gave it to her, and I was like, I know you may not like this, and she grabbed a pencil and just started on the page. I turned off the TV and started writing.
Oh,
When
because you
you-
miss school.
Yeah, I miss school. I want to go.
When you went into her classroom, Lincoln, did you present yourself as Delta's executive assistant? Here to pick up her work?
No, but I walked in, and then half of the class are girls,
Yeah.
and all of them just started charging at me, like running and screaming, Delta, is she okay? I have a card for her.
Oh.
Actually, today Delta got a friendship bracelet and a card.
So popular.
And they're,
huh?
yes, and I'm like, don't worry, guys, she's feeling better. Yeah, I got a card, and it was really nice, and I had a little red friendship bracelet, and it said BFF. And then, like, I've been having fights at school, and then it was one of my friends telling me that there was been no fights between that group, and that relieved me.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
God.
You-
But
But you
they
are
were getting
very
along.
popular. You are very popular.
I've got a lot of friends.
Like
Yeah,
Jessie,
you're blessed.
Jessie's my best friend, and half the time I was talking to her today, she was like, "Is Delta okay?"
Oh, Jesus. You know,
Yes.
you're even.
It's affecting my friend group.
Oh, my
Ah,
God.
it's trickling in.
Yeah, so as you admitted to, Delta, you got a lot of attention this last couple
Yes,
weeks.
it's
So let me give
so
Lincoln a little
much.
attention right now and just say I want her to share with
How's
people.
it my mouth?
Excuse me?
How's it my mouth?
Oh, okay. Okay, so Lincoln and I took a walk the other day.
Oh,
And Lincoln, we walked by a house. She said, "What's your favorite house in this neighborhood?" And I said, "Well, I kind of like this one because it has a name." And I know you've seen it too, Monica. There's a house called Casa de Contento
Oh, okay.
or Del Contento. And so then Lincoln said, "We need to name our house that we're building in Nashville."
Oh.
So we were thinking for a while, and then we decided that it has to be something that's ridiculous, hillbilly-like, but then also something like prestigious and like fancy.
Ooh.
So
Tough, tall order.
yes, exactly. So Dad suggested.
I think you should hit him with the full name.
Okay. So Dad suggested this one thing, and we laughed about it. And then I was like, what's the toilet brand name that we use?
Right, so we have automatic water spraying
Yes.
toilet seats, and they're called Brondles.
They're called Brondles. So then we decided that the full name would be Brown Trout Lodge.
Whoa.
Because brown trout means poop.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Brown Trout Lodge, located in Brondle Springs,
I
USA.
like
USA.
that.
The Brown Trout Lodge in Brondle Springs, USA.
But then I was like, we named the house Brown Trout Lodge, right?
Sure.
But then we had to name this barn. We were like, it has to kind of represent like the gym because all the gym equipment's going to be in there. So you proposed.
Dan Gaines Beef Barn at Brondle Springs.
And for like events,
Love it.
Dan Gaines Beef Bar Buffet.
Oh.
Yeah, when we have
Breakfast
parties.
buffet, yeah, like everything. And then we also made our song, Brondle Springs has good things. Brondle Springs gives you wings.
Ooh.
Brondle
So it's more of a
yeah,
chant, but
it's-
we know
yeah.
we're also gonna come up with a country song that
Yes, like a campfire kind of.
Maybe Bluebird Cafe.
Exactly.
You could sing it at the Bluebird
and
Cafe.
I have I have Lincoln currently deployed making artwork for some
Yes.
imagery to accompany the name and the location. So she's in the middle of that.
Yes, designing the merch for Brown Trout Lodge. Yes, located in
cute.
Brondle Springs, USA.
Okay, I love you two so
Okay,
much, but
love
we
you.
also we have to work. Please hand me those 62 tissues you
It's
would.
4 of them.
Okay, I love you, sweet.
Love you guys.
Well,
Bye, love you. Thank you so much for my special.
Armchair Expert.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Buck. I love it so much. Thanks, Bunny.
Come on, just showered in presents.
So many presents. Beautiful, beautiful vase and a little like jewelry
Jewelries.
catch-all. It's so cute.
Well, you'll be able to hang things on that tail. Even
yeah,
you
I
could,
do rings or something.
yeah, put your Dunkaroos in there.
I could.
Did you hear Delta's character? It's more than just she's sick. So first her voice went,
Yeah.
but then it developed into a whole character.
Yeah, she's doing a thing. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
So every conversation I've had with her is like I'm in an SNL sketch for the last week.
She's so cute. Yeah. Oh man, she was really sick.
Yeah, it's got a little
Yeah, got a little
concerning there for
scary.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. That someone thought she had mono for a minute. One of the doctors.
Yeah,
and I
I
was
heard
like, no.
that.
9 years old is too tiny for mono.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Glad it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Okay, we were discussing. So I was about to ask a thought, like a question.
About food, we were still talking
We're talking about food. Oh,
bagging.
okay, yeah. Is it rude or normal? Like, if you're at a dinner party and someone doesn't eat all the food
Yeah.
and isn't going to take it home,
Yeah.
should it be expected that you would get it?
Me?
Anyone?
Yeah, I definitely think it's cool to go, like when someone's clearly done.
Yeah.
And you go, are you going to have any more of that steak?
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, no, take it. I think your knee jerk would be to go like, oh, no, do you want it?
Yeah, of course.
And of course it should get eaten if someone still wants to eat.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that should be standard operating procedure.
But I guess like it can cross a line. Yeah, to me sometimes it can cross a line.
Well, I know exactly what it
Yeah.
could be is that if your pace is slow and someone's like monitoring you, waiting for you to throw in the towel, but you're like, I'm just eating slow. Stop. I don't
Stop
like
paying
that.
attention to this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's
You're
like
right.
eating next to jackals. And that's what I was. I was like a hyena circle, when the lions are eating the carcass.
Yeah.
And I was just there as a hyena. Like, let me have some skin.
Right.
Give me that bone no one's eating.
It just makes the vibe a little weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, it's all regrettable.
No, you were just a kid.
Yeah, but I'm pretty embarrassed by the way I just prowled around the classroom.
Well.
There's some cheese left in the bottom of that.
Oh God, did you use your finger to scoop up
my
the
God, yes, of
cheese
course.
from the
It's
yeah?
so
But
good.
there is a red stick.
But it doesn't get the corners.
Yeah.
And I would even fold out the bottom.
Yeah.
And then
to
suck on
lick-
it. Yeah.
God.
Gotta get every last morsel. It was
Sure.
it was great training for when I would be at the end of a cocaine bag and you turn that inside out and rub it all around your mouth and stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a ding 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 because this is for Bobby Lee.
Oh, I loved this episode.
Me too. I did too. But addiction comes up.
Yeah.
So, okay. You said that Asians are good at math because of rice production. Like that's
Yeah.
where that stereotype comes from. Malcolm Gladwell
Yeah, he's got a chapter on it.
and he says it's not true for the reasons you might think, like genetic predisposition to math. It's because they come from a cultural heritage of rice farming, which created a culture of diligence. So then he has a whole thing about the importance of diligence in math. Mm-hmm. Says when it comes to math, the best students are the ones willing to spend a lot of time figuring out how to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's that. And then the next fact is also Malcolm Gladwell, which is crazy.
You know what's funny is I just had breakfast with Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we were
Sim.
talking about, I was telling him about the memory expert we had on, and that there's actually a period, and I had forgotten the name of it, and I don't remember it now, but the period where you log and lock in the most amount of memories, and it said in that book, between 20 and 30, which is why those are your favorite movies, and those are your favorite.
I thought it was like 13.
Okay, let's say it was 14 and 30, but it went up to 30.
Okay.
And I was telling him, I was on my tear of his books in my late 20s. And they're almost like the last bit of books I locked in all of the information.
That's interesting.
And I was asking him if he has those books. And he goes, oh, yeah, not only do I have those books, I regularly go back and read them. Like, they're the only ones I'm interested in going back and kind of brushing up on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was like, yeah, dude, I can, like, tell you every paragraph of the Korean airline fucking chapter.
Yeah.
They're so cemented in my brain.
That's funny.
Unlike anything else.
The reminiscence bump from 10 to 30.
10 to 30. Okay.
Okay, but so the second fact, you said airplane crashes it's never just one thing that goes wrong. I feel a little anxious doing this today as I'm about to get on an airplane.
It should kind of comfort you because, like, several things have to go wrong.
Well, according to Outliers, a typical plane crash involves 7 consecutive human errors.
7. I mean, that's a lot of human errors.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of, knock on wood, airplane stuff recently, though.
That's true. There was that,
Door.
There was the door, but then there was also some software that would trick the plane into
There's like
thinking.
a whole bunch of...
Well, there's a whole Boeing trial going on, right?
Exactly.
And then the guy killed himself.
Yeah.
Which has given rise to conspiracy theories, of course.
Yeah. Okay, ayahuasca. I was just looking up a little bit about what it does to the brain. And it
Obliterates. What if it just had one word?
it says it just has activations in the occipital, temporal, and frontal areas of the brain. I mean, there's not that much.
I can't imagine it's been studied all that thoroughly.
Yeah. It says activates a complicated network of vision and memory, which heightens the internal reality of the participants. Guess how it's spelled?
Ayahuasca. A-Y. Am I already off?
No. You're right.
A-Y-I-O-X-I-C-A.
Okay. You were right. You
For a minute.
started off right. Yeah. A-Y-A-H-U-A-S-C-A.
Oh, I thought there was an X in there.
I thought there was a I. I thought it started with an I.
Okay, yeah. Ayahuasca, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's I like I.
Yeah. Clearly is.
Yes, obviously. We know that now. I just said that.
Now we know. Okay. You said you think that men watch YouTube more.
Right.
54.4%. So not that much
Yeah, just
more.
hardly a majority.
Yeah.
That must have changed. I think that's
It
come
makes
down.
sense, though, because there's so much makeup videos and all these things that women watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that more and more content is drawing them there as well.
yeah, definitely.
But it would have been easy when it was more like a 60 or 70% market share that men had. I would have then made the argument in the same way we would make about them sexually, that men are so visual.
Yeah, but no.
But no. Yeah.
Can't make that.
Yeah, yeah. And women watch porn apparently more than men. It's crazy.
All right. Them's the facts.
Them's was the facts.
Yes.
Any updates from you?
No, not really. I'm going, as I said, I'm going on a flight. I'm going home for Mother's Day.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
And is your mom excited about that?
Yes.
Does she
she's
feel
excited.
loved?
I hope so. I'm also Allison Roman's doing a live show.
Oh, she is.
She has a podcast, and she's doing a live show, and she asked me to be her guest, so I'm going to do that.
Fun. You're doing a live show in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Well, this will already, you'll
will
have
already
already
be
done
out.
it. We
Yeah.
should have said something on the previous fact check.
No. Oh, well.
The Franco-American Playhouse?
Yes.
Okay.
American Playhouse. And they're going to serve SpaghettiOs.
Oh, as they should. I guarantee you there's, in the annals of comedy, there was a comedy troupe named the SpaghettiOs. Unfortunately,
I'm sure.
I guarantee it.
I'm sure of
I
it.
guarantee you.
I'm debating whether I should drive to the airport.
Sure, if you're just gone for 2 days. The only problem that I can foresee...
I've never done it.
Well, here's the thing. I do it often, but I only do it in Kristen's car because there's electric car only parking and there's always spots. Oh. But I have been there where I was like, fuck, man, if we hadn't driven the electric car, I don't know that there'd be a parking spot here. So that's a little scary. But I wonder if there's a way, a website that tracks.
How many?
I mean, fuck, the parking lots are so automated and they tell you like whether there's spots. I wonder if you could find out ahead of time if there's
I'll have to look.
vacancy.
And then I can just leave.
Yes.
Which would be really nice. So I'll figure that out.
So that's a debate. So that's
That's a big
TBD.
debate.
That's for Thursday.
You take your Prius, and you can park in that.
No, you can't.
You just got to tape the charger to the side of it.
You
I don't
charge it
think
for
it
like 2
works.
days then?
You just plug it in to satisfy them. I'm not even doing any real charging.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
charged
say.
from my house,
Yeah.
and then you have to put your credit card in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is where people who would go like call bullshit on some of this stuff. They have a point. Like it's like there's. I mean, I guess it incentivizes people to drive electric cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone. I don't know. Maybe I take that back. But I'm sure people are charging their cars.
Probably. I mean, that'd be a great place to do it if you go on a flight for a day.
Yeah,
For 2
and
days.
you didn't charge. I just don't know who doesn't charge their car at night. Like I don't know many people who are like panically looking for a charging station. Not many people I know in LA are driving more than 100 miles a day. You know, the ranges on these things are like 200 miles.
And it's like 3 hours to charge it. So if you're leaving it for 2 days, it's charged right away.
Yes, that's another interesting part. You charge your car every night, right? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every couple nights, but at home.
Right. And you're never looking for a charging opportunity.
No, only if we're driving to like Big Bear, Joshua Tree.
Right. And you'll go one of those fast chargers
Yeah.
things. And are those fun? Do you get like, I've heard there's like some of them have cappuccino and stuff.
Oh,
I don't know about that. I don't do it enough for that. But
cappuccino. My God.
Yeah.
Sounds luxe.
I like that.
Me too. Okie doke. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that episode because I thought it was really nice.
I loved it. I hope
Yeah.
everyone listens to it.
Me
I really
too.
do.
Me too.
It had all the things. He's so fucking funny.
Oh my God, he is.
You know, when you were re-listening
so
to it, were
funny.
you just dying?
He's very, very funny.
Oh, I love him. Is there an update about jogging? Only because it's been a hot button topic in the comments, and I
Oh.
just wonder if you had any more.
Actually, yes.
Oh, tell me.
I have been running at a different time
Great. Well, earlier, I imagine.
to try to avoid the situation.
Uh-huh.
And also, I have a friend who knows someone in that group.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
And have
and-
they talked to them?
I don't know. I just said yesterday, I was like, this is what's going on. And she said, oh, I know someone who goes there. Yeah, there's like a patch of grass and they all meet.
Yeah.
Because they invited her because she has a dog.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, well, it's far away from me. So, but yeah,
We met an incredible dog today.
we did. It was a really cute dog. I liked it.
Oh my God. I've never met a dog like that.
Yeah, it was really
It
nice.
was so weird.
She was nice.
She was a mix. She looked like a wild animal, but she was so happy.
Well, she looked like a husky.
I think she looked like a fox. She was tiny.
Yeah. Very fluffy.
fluffy.
But yeah, so the update is I've adjusted.
Okay.
I'm
Do you feel defeated by that
I'm
adjustment?
not happy about it.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not. I also feel like it's funny to me that it's as you say, a hot button issue. I don't look at the comments and I'm not going to, especially if there's like mean stuff about my opinion.
Well, is disagreement mean?
Well, I don't know. I'm not on there.
Oh, right,
I
no.
assume yes because the internet's mean.
Oh, okay. That's probably a logical assumption. No, there's disagreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stand by that. I feel that people should be aware of other people out in the world, but that's fine. I can adjust.
All right, I love you. Have a blast in Atlanta and have fun with your mom and tell her that I love her and give her a huggy and a kissy.
I will.
Thank Ashok for the sim. It continues to be great.
I will.
All right.
I'll pass it along.
Please do.
Okay, bye.
Love you.
Love you.